your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say, football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control, and we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs, give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
The worst team, the worst feeling a team can have locally in a market is that its fans don't care. So if you're angry, if you get angry, that's better than fans not caring. I got angry at the Dolphins yesterday for making me watch that and forcing me to have to talk about that today when I'd like to talk about the University of Miami and Inter Miami playing a championship game and Aaron Rodgers very much looking at this stage of his career like somebody in a Survivor movie who is being hunted by humans. You tell me I'm wrong when I say that at the point, like he's got a cast on his arm. He's got blood all over his face, and he's looking around like, what am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And it's because the AFC is that bad. Cincinnati's in the mix at 4-8. They're in the mix. Cincinnati's legitimately in the mix. But I was mad at the Dolphins yesterday, Zaz, for making me watch any of that and deserving to lose it. And the Saints are god awful. Like, who are these people? Vele? You got a quarterback with 2 H's in his name. You cannot win with one of those. You cannot.
Good point.
You've got a kicker who does not have a vowel in his name, in his last name of any kind. No vowel. Who were those people? You've got a guy named Stutzman hitting H-hand cleaner than anyone's ever hit him. And I'm mad the entire time at my television. I don't want to be watching any of this. Holy shit, it was bad. We're going to do this for another 16 games.
How do you pronounce that, Shuck? I don't get it.
Shock.
Doesn't look like Shuck.
It should be Shaw.
Shock. Tyler Shock.
The Dolphins should have lost that game. Olive,
Why?
they hit
Why
him in.
should they have
No,
lost?
they hit him in the hands.
It's Olave. A Cuban catching touchdowns in Miami. That was a good moment for us.
How did he not catch that ball?
The Saints had the game in their best. Their only good players. Kamara's not playing.
Olive.
Did you make a
We
Miguel
have
Olivo?
one Cuban wide receiver. Get his name right.
They should have lost that game. And I don't actually want to talk about it, except the despair of the Dolphin fan around Tua must be so large because that game was torture to watch. I understand in that league, 6 of the 7 games in the 1 o'clock window, a lot of bad football. 6 of the 7 games, 1-score game in the fourth quarter. So, of course, I don't know how that league does it. I really don't. How these teams that Tennessee is the only one yesterday that's getting slaughtered, or Minnesota on its 7th quarterback is the only one that's getting slaughtered. So all the games are going to be close. But if you're fighting that way to beat the Saints at home, you stink.
Yeah, well, we know the Dolphins stink, but I had a different experience than you watching that Dolphin game yesterday because I was watching it on an airplane home from Norman yesterday. So if you could find a way to watch your favorite team on the airplane, like you're just, oh, thank God I got something to watch here.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, so like I didn't have that experience.
Yeah, but you're trapped. Okay, so you've got 3 hours of entertainment, and it's
Right.
not like you're going to read a book. Like you're going to sit there.
I don't look like I read. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Did you watch that football game in Norman?
Yeah, of
You
course.
stayed for the game?
I left
God.
at halftime.
Yeah, I would too.
I left
It
at
was a
halftime.
terrible football.
I watched the
Oh.
rest of the game at the hotel
All right.
bar.
Awful.
Okay, so let's get there quickly because Oklahoma's not better than Miami. I've watched both of these teams all year. All Oklahoma has is a defensive line. If they got a quarterback with a broken hand, like they cannot do anything offensively.
Yeah.
They have no chance to win the championship. But Miami's better than BYU. Miami's better than Utah. Miami is better than Oklahoma. Miami is better than both of the teams playing in the ACC championship game. You cannot have a system that does this. And all of a sudden, the ACC, you know what it is? It's a small conference.
That
Like,
ACC title game's an abomination.
you're treating the ACC now like a tiny conference.
Diaz.
Manny
Come on, that's funny, him getting
Manny Diaz playing in a championship game before Miami does in the ACC. That's insanity.
It's ridiculous.
That's Duke.
Even Manny's got to be like, this
Look,
is, what?
Look, what's going to happen to Miami here, this is unbelievable. It really is, okay? Malachi Toney is an unprecedented player in the history of the program. There's never been a guy who can catch the ball one-handed and be a jitterbug in the open field and beat you deep, and also he's going to be the greatest non-passing statistical quarterback they have in the history of the program. He's a threat in so many ways. You must see him in the top 12. Like, this is clearly one of the 12 best teams in the country. Don't give me computers. Don't give me voters. Don't give me anything. Anyone sitting in front of a television, if I show you the 8 games the Hurricanes have won by 17 or more points, and in a way that physically ravages opponents like South Florida, a very good opponent. I know the ACC is bad, but Miami is clearly and obviously to the eye, and anyone who's ever watched football would say, yes, that's got draft picks all over the field. That's one of the 12 best teams in the country. It's not half a team like, it's not even half a team like Oklahoma. It's all Oklahoma is pass rush. They don't have anything else.
We were so close to this not even being an issue. If LSU wins that game, like, it's over. Canes are in.
There have been about 36 games over the last 3 weeks that Miami needed.
But that was
some
like the
help
one.
with.
That was the one.
Auburn too.
Auburn's been doing that all year to us. Like, you come on, War Eagle, one time.
But LSU was up like all game
Yeah.
in Norman this weekend.
Yeah, it's weird. Eye test doesn't seem to apply to SEC teams. Miami got held out of the CFP, rightfully so, because their defense was a disaster. Oklahoma's offense is every bit that kind of disaster, but they're going to get in. Miami's going to get screwed out of this one. I think it's pretty obvious now that they've conditioned the audience and the nation to normalize head-to-head not mattering and all these other arguments. Bring in the computers. Miami's got very good advanced stats.
Well,
Stat
and
rating's very good. But, like, there isn't a big gulf between Miami's numbers and the other teams. We're already used to Miami being left out of this discussion. They've spent the last month doing that.
All right, let's do this way, okay? Because you can tell me if you've watched all of the football this year, you can tell me you think the ACC stinks, and that's fine. I'd argue that over the course of what happens to these teams during a season, Louisville and SMU now are not the same team they were when they played Miami. Like, these games are physical. Justin Herbert's out there with one hand. Like, you understand, or I understood the last 2 weeks of what I've seen of Louisville football is not that Louisville is bad, it's that they got healthy against Kentucky. Louisville's very good. That's not a bad loss to lose to Louisville, but I understand how it is. People look at this conference and are now treating it when you have Duke and Manny Diaz playing in the championship game, and Miami still never played in one of those. You can't tell me Mario Cristobal hasn't fixed this. I'm seeing one of the best teams in the country. Like, I'm watching it every week. It's not just that they're interesting. They've got a team that was built to win a playoff. This is as balanced a team as there is in the country. Yes, they lost a one-score game against SMU in overtime. So that game, the entire conference is basically coming down to SMU was in the playoff last year, and now SMU beats you in overtime because they pick off a ball, and it's one play, and it's the worst loss you have in 2 seasons. It's 6 points because in 2 years, Miami will have lost 4 games and not be in either playoff. That doesn't make any sense to anybody rational who's ever watched football. Like, just, and never mind if you haven't seen the last 2 years, just on the history of what football is, you don't do this to this program because you got to get BYU. And I saw BYU dragged by Texas Tech. Like, I saw Texas Tech. There are 3 teams in the country that have beaten people 17 or more, okay? It is Texas Tech. It's Ohio State. Defense, obviously, championship good. And when you look at what's happening to Miami, you see what's happening here, right? Utah is one of those teams. Utah also dragged by Texas Tech because Texas Tech is good enough to beat anybody, but so's Miami. Like that I can't say that of many teams. I could say it of Ohio State. I could say it maybe of Indiana, but you've just made college football so different that Ohio State, Indiana for the championship there doesn't matter at all.
You could say it about Notre Dame, too. Notre Dame's very good.
Ohio State and Indiana are playing a game, and it doesn't matter at all. That would have been the biggest of all big games, and now it's not even a playoff game. It's a game that doesn't matter because they could all rest their players.
Well, no, because you're not guaranteed to get the bye if you lose the Big Ten championship game. And that's important.
Okay, fine. You get the bye. Ohio State shows you that they don't play close games. They haven't played anybody. They will win with defense. They might be half a team, too, for all I can tell. Like, there are a lot of in college and pros and injured, there's a lot of flaws. This is the most wide-open NFL we've seen, is it not? Like, where the AFC, you've got, if I had told you before the season, the top of the conference, Broncos, Patriots, Bears. Nobody has that, right?
Right.
No, nobody has. If I had told you before the season, San Francisco's going to have that many injuries, but they're coming in at the bottom of the NFC at 9-4. At 9-4, they're the bottom of the NFC, while Bengals 4-8 in the mix. Football at the highest level is a bunch of people being hurt and now us playing random ball as the Colts might miss the playoffs because look at their schedule the next 5 games.
Dolphins are 1 game worse than the Chiefs.
Daniel Jones has a broken what?
Broken fibula?
I feel like you need one of those.
It seems like you would have them not broken would be the best way to play football.
I know we kind of moved on the NFL here, but it's just at some point I'm going to need someone to explain this tiebreaker thing and how Duke is in this ACC championship game.
It's a joke.
Have you seen who they beat in the ACC? They beat all, I think Clemson's their best win. Have they beaten any of the teams that they're tied with?
You have a
how's head-to-head not?
Chris, you have an ACC championship game which features 2 teams in it. Neither of those 2 teams has a win over the top 5 in the conference. You have a team in Virginia that lost to NC State that doesn't count in the conference, and you have a team in Duke that lost to UConn that's 7-5, and again played nobody.
Dan, if Duke wins the ACC championship,
come on,
it is a very real thing that there are going to be 2 group of 5 teams in the playoffs and not the Hurricanes.
Okay, so I know that people hearing this, and I would not blame them for this, all they would hear in my voice of this biased show is some form of the wonderful tears that you've wanted emotionally because all of this is ridiculous. Like, we're doing it with judges, we're doing it with scorecards, it's gymnastics, it's made for television boxing, it's nonsense. We are at a point in 2025 where we've distorted this thing so much that anybody who's watched college football this year would just simply tell you, watching all of the games, Miami is one of the 12 best teams in the country, clearly, physically. They've got something that feels a little professional, offensive line and defensive line. They've lost 2 games to Rhett Lashley, to 2 of the best coaches in Brom, and that's going to happen to Mario at least once a year. We didn't expect to happen twice, but we know that's going to happen to Mario at least once a year, and SMU and Louisville. Louisville gets a 4-interception game, 3 great interceptions. There's just no one who's watched college football this year who wouldn't look and say, I don't care what the computers say. Miami is clearly one of the 12 best teams in the country. It's obvious.
And Miami's offense looks way different. We knew we were fearful headed into that SMU game that you have your tendencies, you're pretty predictable, you're trying to win these games in close margins when you're the more talented team. Also absent from the national discussion was one of the worst officiated games that we've seen for a very poorly officiated conference. But I'm happy that we've got back-to-back 10-win seasons. Mario Cristobal has done what he set out to do, even though everybody that you would ask before the season is, it's got to be either playoffs or Charlotte. The fact that you're sitting at 10 wins and you're neither in the playoff nor in Charlotte is something worth criticizing, but it was a great season. A lot of people stuck their neck out over the last 4 weeks.
You're waving the white flag.
No, I'm not. No.
That sounds like you're waving the white flag.
What I'm saying is, welcome to the watch. You guys got it from here. I was ranting, raving, sticking my neck out, terrified that this team would fall on its face in November like they do every year. Mario Cristobal had my back. This team looks incredible. It's playing its best football. And now I'd much rather Dan Le Batard do the yelling and shouting. And Jonathan Zaslow, welcome to the party.
Did Chuck help out at all this
He
weekend?
did, from what I was told.
They
you
learned
were
their
at the
lesson.
games.
They learned their lesson. There was like a 3 or 4 minute stretch late in that game
Yeah.
where Miami fans would have been rubbing their nipples listening to it. They were
Okay.
like, one of the best teams in the country, the eye test, this is the performance they
look,
needed. They were
look.
saying all the things that they didn't say last week.
Look, I will say a couple of things that I found interesting about the last couple of weeks of coverage. If you were listening to this show and listening to the end of that broadcast where poor Louis Riddick and Bob Wischusen had to descend into the muck, they've got an uninteresting game. Miami is dragging Pittsburgh by the neck around the field. What do we talk about? Oh, I know. Chuck will show that he's been influenced by Mike Ryan and his co-conspirators. Lou Riddick will be asked all sorts of questions that put Lou Riddick in the corner where both of them were saying, yeah, Miami's one of the best teams in the country. Obviously, again and again. Louis Riddick is saying of Malachi Toney, he's saying, no, this is the best there is. He's like, this is the very best of special, the way that they're using this football player on the field. And you heard in the broadcast that Chuck and Lou Riddick had been bought and paid for by the Miami propaganda arm.
Or Miami just played better that game, and they're saying what they see.
No, that's not the way Chuck was talking a week ago. It is
They
not.
looked like against Virginia Tech.
Okay,
There, I said it.
no. Well, you said it, and it's not true. But
It didn't look great. Maybe not. I mean, somewhere in the middle between shit and great.
Again, I will just give you the stat again. There are 4 teams in the country that have won this many games by 17 plus. Those 4 teams are not Indiana. Indiana's not one of them. It's Ohio State, it's Texas Tech, it's Utah, and it's Miami. So on the full slate of whatever their schedule is, if you think it's that much weaker than Ohio State's or all those frauds in the SEC, it's not.
Am I wrong in thinking this is a apples to oranges comparison? But
apples to oranges.
this feels like the 2000 season where Miami lost to Washington but beat Florida State, but it was Florida State that ended up going to the national championship and
Totally
lost.
different
What a
system.
memory.
No, this is the history of Roy. Roy's got it exactly right, of course. And Roy is sitting here saying, you were this upset 20 years ago, Dan. You cared like this 20 years ago. And it is the last time I cared about this because this is clearly a wrong. It's just
That year was the all-time bullshit.
But Zaz, when I simply say, okay, it's always been about judges and, voters and influence. I saw many years Nick Saban pleading on television, just running propaganda everywhere where Nick Saban, was doing interviews that I thought were beneath him because he realized that part of the job was this time of year, the way to get into the playoffs with judges is argue your way in. Get in the most old-fashioned way. Argue. So I saw Mario Cristobal with Mike Ryan in his ear. I saw Mario Cristobal. He gets the post-game interview, and he doesn't care what the question is. His only job here
I got TV time.
is to swagger in front of the microphones and say out of nowhere, no one asked him about Notre Dame. No one asked him about head-to-head. He just went straight in, and the only God-given American thing that I know about football is that head-to-head matters.
It would have been great if instead of actually letting her ask the question, he just took the microphone.
He
took the
should
microphone,
have.
wrestling
He
style.
should have.
All right, my turn.
He practically did.
Mario's a big-time old-school 80s wrestling guy, too. He learned from the best.
Chris, do we have, I know our computers have been buffering. There have been some video. Okay, so that's not helpful to me now. Is Jeremy ready in the other room? Because Jeremy has been listening to us talk the entire time, lest you think that this will only be Miami bias. Roy, file that away. I want to come back to, yes, we've always been doing it this way, but this will be one of history's great wrongs when it comes to this program. It would have another championship if not for instant replay not yet being around when Cleveland Gary was fumbling at the goal line. Before Alabama, Miami was in the position that Alabama was, where they were the ones with all the pros.
Miami's legitimately got 3 national titles that they were boned out of.
We could probably say that about most big programs.
No, not 3. No, not one.
Notre Dame in
not there's a
93.
penalty flag in the air. Like just one call decides a championship. Not very often, but this is the best team I've seen since those teams. Last year's was not. It had the best player. Cam Ward made that the best offense. What I've seen from Miami this year has been championship good. I believe this team can beat anyone and also lose to a well-coached team that's a 2-touchdown favorite, as they did twice this year. But Jeremy has been eating it for weeks on the Miami subject, and Jeremy has had no room whatsoever to make the argument on behalf of everyone else. So I've told him, please, put your notes outside over there, and you tell me what you think when I can go to it. So he's been in this Kevin Spacey and Seven kind of manifesto stage of arguing the other side of this. Where am I wrong, Jeremy, on anything I've said over the course of these 25 minutes?
And how do you feel about the Kevin Spacey comparison?
I was going to say you're wrong on invoking Kevin Spacey's name. We could have done literally anything else. But look, there are 5 automatic qualifiers, right? You're going to have OSU, UGA, Texas Tech, Virginia, if they beat Duke, and then the winner of Tulane and North Texas. And then in terms of at-large bids, Dan, you tried to make the argument that Oklahoma doesn't deserve to be there over Miami. They have 2 losses. Those are to number 5 Ole Miss and number 14 Texas, with wins over number 10 Bama and Missouri, which I know how Mike Ryan feels about the AP. We don't even have to count number 25 Missouri, but they do have a top 10 win there. Better losses than Miami does, tougher schedule. When we're bidding for numbers 11 and 12, I think the first team that you have to mention, Dan, BYU. They have 1 loss this season. It's to number 5 Texas Tech. If they have a second loss, it'll be to the same team in their conference championship game because they actually made it to their conference championship game. They also have 2 top 25 wins, with wins over number 15 Utah and number 21 Arizona. So we have to include BYU.
We have to.
You have to include BYU. It would make no sense in terms of resume when you're looking at each and every one of these when you're nitpicking. Even if they lose to Texas Tech.
That's crazy.
2 losses, both to a top 5
They're
team.
going to get dragged by Texas
That's
Tech.
fine.
They're going to get dragged the same way they were last time. Texas Tech is a good deal better than BYU.
That's right. And I think Miami, you would make the argument, is a good deal better than SMU or Louisville, but they lost both of those games to unranked teams. I want you to look at the rest of these resumes here, Dan.
This Texas Tech team is the best Texas Tech team I've ever seen. It's better than anything that Michael Crabtree was doing at the top of when they were beating Texas. Like, this is the best Texas Tech team there's ever been, and they're going to drag BYU again. Anyway, continue.
Well, you're making the argument on behalf of BYU then, because if their loss is to a better team, if Texas Tech is maybe the best team in the country, the best Texas Tech team ever, those 2 losses to Texas Tech shouldn't knock you down so much. So to me, BYU is an obvious number 11 there. But when you look at the rest of these teams, you've got Miami. Now let's start looking at losses. Obviously, they have the head-to-head win over Notre Dame. But when you start looking at losses...
Hold on just a second. Let me influence you a little bit before you get going too much further. Here's Mario Cristobal getting a question after the game, ignoring it entirely, and just chirping Mike Ryan's thoughts into a microphone.
Well, the fact that this is a college football playoff team. I think we've all seen it. We know it. Proud of the way our guys came out, dominated from start to finish. And certainly we left a lot of points on the board as well. But, we're really starting to click. We're getting some guys healthy. We still didn't have our top corner back, and he's going to be back in about a week. Our defensive tackle is still out. So we're looking at even getting way better here in the next couple weeks.
You didn't want to stump for your team until this game was over. For the selection committee watching today, what do you hope that they saw out of Miami football?
Complete dominance. A team that just we've got great players in all phases, and we're playing great football in all phases. And you know what? The best part about football, you get to settle it on the field, where head-to-head is always the number 1 criteria for anything regarding athletics and football.
I appreciate the time. Congratulations.
Go Kings.
No one asked him about that. It was good to see the floating head of Ed Hudak still protecting coaches. Let's put that up on the screen so people could see that. Ed Hudak has been doing this for coaches for a long time, protecting them from all people around them who might be scary. Look at that. That is the face of football for real. Yes, go ahead and do that close up because people do not know this. But look, Mario Cristobal always has Ed Hudak whispering things like
over
that
his shoulder
in his ear. Yes, look, that man has.
Hey, what's up with that question?
He protected Mario's coaches. That guy protected Mario's coaches. And that guy has been in his ear, and he's proud of Mario right there. Just went full.
You could tell the handshake that guy's got.
Oh, my God.
Rip your wrist clean off.
Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Will Ed Hudak rip your wrist clean off with a handshake? And he will. He's been law enforcement for this town. Do you know the scars that leaves? protecting that program for 40 years. You know how many times Dennis Erickson had to be driven home? Ed Hudak has been protecting coaches in this market for 50 years. And Mario Cristobal did him proud with his team and his argument. But let's go back out to Jeremy to see if he can argue the other side of this.
Well, he's just looking at head-to-head, Dan. There are several other teams that qualify here. I already mentioned BYU should be the 11. You have Alabama. Now, they lost to FSU. That's a tough look. Their other loss to Oklahoma, they could end up with a third loss to Georgia in this scenario. It's going to be tough to overcome that, in my personal opinion, despite their 3 top 25 wins. But there's 2 teams you can look at here, Dan. Let's start with James Madison. Now, they have 1 loss this season. They will be a conference champion with 1 loss. That loss, Dan, to Louisville, a team that you all are trying to convince me is not a playoff eliminating loss for Miami, despite the fact that they also lost to unranked SMU. James Madison, as a conference champion with a dominant win over Old Dominion. Old Dominion, Dan, who beat Virginia Tech by 30-plus points, a win that Miami is trying to hold up as a great win over the last month, showing you the type of team that they are.
Keep it moving, Jeremy. Be a professional. The power went out, and you got to just keep going. You got to keep doing show. You got to keep Jeremy, like if we're on live television.
Jeremy, you know about being a professional?
The power went out,
Do
Jeremy.
I know about being a professional? Me.
James Madison is the argument you're going to make.
James Madison absolutely should be there over the University of Miami. But if you want to do it the other way, and not go based off of who's a conference champion, but go based off of who has the best wins, who's beat the best teams, who's actually shown that they can beat playoff teams, that's where you look at Texas. They have a win over number 7, Texas A&M, over number 8, Oklahoma, over number 13, Vanderbilt. Their losses coming to 2 automatic qualifiers in Ohio State and Georgia. There is the tough loss of Florida, but how do we stack up that Florida loss as compared to 2 unranked losses for Miami?
Jeremy, I don't think you heard me the first time I said this because I haven't heard something from you about Notre Dame yet. Did you hear him the first time he said it?
Head-to-head is always the number 1 criteria for anything regarding athletics and football.
Well, that's what I'm showing you,
Dan. You want to put James
that
Madison in there, fine. Take Notre Dame out.
I don't have Notre Dame in there. I have BYU and James Madison as your final 2 teams getting an at-large
You're
bid
not hearing
over
him.
Notre Dame, over Miami. Head-to-head is irrelevant if Notre Dame also doesn't make it, Dan.
It's never irrelevant.
Notre Dame doesn't
Never.
make it.
You get one school named after a person. You get one school named after a person. Pick one. Brigham Young or James Madison. You can't put 2 schools named after a person.
Head-to-head.
If Hudak could help Miami protect the ball, maybe they wouldn't be in this situation.
Can you put on the poll, Juju, at Le Batard Show, can you put 2 people in the playoffs named after a person? 2 teams in the playoffs. Because this is James and Madison. Well, this is the other thing. Thank you for doing that again.
Head-to-head.
Do you realize that the only reason Mario Cristobal is not undefeated is because what he believes about football is right at his core is I'm going to try and run up the middle and I'm going to beat you
Head-to-head.
right up the middle with Fletcher.
Head-to-head.
I'm never going to notice that Pringle should be running. It should be Fletcher every time.
Head-to-head.
I'm going to hit you in the face mask.
Head-to-head.
Again, what you got? What do you got, Rhett Lashley? I got this.
Head-to-head.
What do you got?
Head-to-head.
Just straight up the middle.
I got to be honest. I think Mario Cristobal is wrong. I think he's wrong when he says head-to-head matters in everything in athletics and football. I would argue head-to-head matters in so many things outside of athletics and football as well.
For anything regarding athletics and football.
No, just for anything.
For anything.
For anything.
For anything.
Yes.
Not just athletics and football. For anything.
For anything.
If something is going on in the world and there's
anything.
Head-to-head happening, that matters.
For anything.
You know what? You're making good points, but I feel like Jeremy cooked my ass with that James Madison win over Old Dominion. Because Old Dominion beating Virginia Tech worse than Miami did, like, you're right, man. I'm going to lay my sword down. That one hurt.
I'm not the only one who's talking about wins over teams that other teams didn't play as well. That's been the argument for Miami all the way through, is beating down opponents that maybe other teams couldn't compete against, beating teams that beat other teams. If we're going to constantly be doing the transitive property, you have to look at a team that's a conference champion.
We're not.
and has dominated their entire schedule outside of Louisville, a team that Miami holds up as a loss that is not that bad.
I mean, I hear your point, but we're actually not doing head-to-head, as Mario Cristobal points out, or common opponents. We're doing it literally everywhere in the CFP. If you look throughout the top 15 in the CFP, every single person that has either a common opponent or a head-to-head advantage is ranked against the other, especially if they have the same record. There is one outlier throughout the entire top 15 where common opponents do not matter and head-to-head does not matter. Guess which one that is? Guess. It's the obvious one. It's Miami. Look what they say when they say Notre Dame. They lead with the quality losses. Okay, that's the argument. That's a barometer. Why is Alabama ahead of Miami? All of a sudden, the criteria shifts to quality wins. We're literally shifting the criteria team to team rather than holding one consistent. If you're invoking quality losses, then invoke it when it comes to Alabama. They lost to FSU. No, then the conversation changes to quality wins. It's clear as day what's been happening over the last month. Been trying to open your eyes.
Is it clear as day? Is it clear as day? Because Jeremy, you're not listening to Mario when he says head-to-head. You're still here arguing for James Madison and invoking Old Dominion. Jeremy, you do not believe with a straight face that Miami is not one of the 12 best teams in the country. You don't believe that.
12 best teams in the country is not the conversation that I thought we were doing this based off merit. If you're going to constantly argue that the singular game between Miami and Notre Dame, they settled it on the
merit.
field. Who won more games?
That's merit.
Who's winning more of their games? There's a team that's going to be a conference champion. There's going to be a conference champion that is excluded from this conversation in a 12-team playoff. Of course, unless Duke ultimately beats Virginia, in which case the ACC should not have a single team in the playoff, if that's the case, including Miami, because BYU would get in there. James Madison would all of a sudden become an automatic qualifier with either Tulane or North Texas. Virginia shouldn't make it. And as you can see here, Duke, LMAO.
All right, Jeremy, thank you for your contributions. The argument I would make, all right, this is just, I am indeed a little late to this, so my humble apologies in not articulating this way earlier, because I have failed the region and my alma mater in whatever it is that I aspire to around neutrality. But my argument in 2025, after many years of watching championship football in this market, taught to me by this program, okay? My argument for the computers and the voters and however it is anyone measures this stuff, whether it's Herb Street or Feinbaum or however it is that the advanced metrics are measuring sports better than ever today. My argument in 2025, after 40 years of experience in this market, is my argument on behalf of Miami is look at them. Just look at them.
Or the most obvious one. They beat the other team.
No, but just look at them going up and down the field, mauling people on the offensive side of the football, only to get bleeped where their coaches will bleep it up because they're obviously, look at them. Look at them physically. They're stronger than everyone they're playing.
I just had an epiphany watching Jeremy do that, fairly uninterrupted. I was on the FPI College Football Playoff Predictor, and Miami's chances actually went up as Jeremy was talking.
Really?
And I think that this is a bold new strategy. We should put out – okay, let me reach out to Cam Gorby over at the University of Miami.
Go on.
Instead of having Mario Cristobal do post-game interviews where he's saying the obvious, we should actually hire Jeremy to make an argument against us because I think it actually helps Miami's case.
I think it's a good strategy.
Yes. He is that unlikable.
No, it's not.
He finds a way to make Miami's case more compelling when he argues against it. Hear me out. I think this is the way.
Numbers literally went up 3% while he was talking.
The more he talks, the more people like Miami. Keep it going, Jeremy.
I lost my power button to hit him with the stop talking because the power went out earlier in the segment, during his segment, as he just stopped doing
How about us, though?
That was the Lord. That was the Lord showing us a path. We can't cut off Jeremy. He must keep speaking.
Jeremy, are the Heat broadcasts so lean and mean that there's never a mistake where the power goes out?
There's never been a mistake on a Heat broadcast, no, not by me or anyone else.
Wow.
Other than the action being like 4 seconds out of Eric Reed. I mean, geez.
Wow.
he's looked at him. He's pissed off, and I don't think this is about him being unlikable. I think the moment that you mentioned...
Oh, you don't?
No, this is what I would say.
Not this time.
We're finally giving him the usage rate he wants. Give him more. Feed him the rock. I need him there.
The argument on the other side of it, once you've gotten to, I concede on Notre Dame, you guys are the same, and I can't do it head-to-head. I'm going to make the argument around head-to-head,
Right.
and here I'm going to go get James Madison. I'm going to go get James Madison, and what I'm going to look at and say to people is an Old Dominion beat Virginia Tech by more than Miami
That was
did.
good, Jeremy. You keep doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, look.
I love that point.
Losing to Louisville, you both did the same thing, except Miami also has another loss.
Louisville, the team
And there's
that
going to be a
won-
conference champion right here, staring you in the face. There's also going to be Texas that has a bunch of good wins.
Texas?
3 top 15
Wait.
wins right there.
Jeremy.
Now, they have a loss
Jeremy,
that
if I may.
Miami beat. So I won't
may not.
include them. They have
I may
Alabama, FSU. Hey, I thought you wanted me getting the usage rate up.
No, I'm saying, but you just mentioned Texas, which went to overtime with Kentucky, a team that just lost to Louisville.
And they lost to Florida.
A team that just lost to Louisville 41-0. That team, Kentucky, took Texas to overtime.
Oh, now we're not even doing the results of the game. We're doing if they went to overtime.
not.
Do you want to talk about the first quarter against Florida in the swamp? I mean, what are we doing?
Texas also lost to Florida in the swamp, a team that Miami thoroughly dominated. It's just like, out of all your metrics, when you want to invoke Old Dominion and you want to do common opponent stuff, the most obvious common opponent thing is head-to-head.
Okay, then I won't
Has
do
to matter.
that. I won't do that. I'll do James Madison's going to be 11-1, 12-1, and win a conference championship.
You can't win an argument against this. You're losing to Mario Cristobal
Head-to-head
with
is
your charge
always the number one criteria for anything.
and your whiteboard and your Kevin Spacey and 7
For anything.
I
writing
am white and making you bored. I understand.
manifestos.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Before I get to one of the rarest of things ever seen around here, the righteous Roy Rage. Because we have converted, and I think this might just be Jeremy that converted it, but I don't think I've ever seen Roy this impassioned about feeling wronged around sports, because he keeps going back to 2000. He keeps going back to a scar from 25 years ago when Miami was argued out of a championship back then in a way that was clearly unreasonable to anybody who's ever watched football.
Well,
Yeah,
and it's also important to point out as well, Roy, not just that they didn't qualify for the game, but the team that made it ahead of them scored 2 points in the championship.
It's ridiculous. Now, granted, yes, they lost to Washington, who was 15th ranked, right? But they worked their way back up to 7th in the AP poll. Beat Florida
It was the
State.
first game of the year, Washington.
Second
Second?
game.
Oh,
second
Oh,
game.
the
They
first game of
beat-
the year
they-
shouldn't have crazy relevance, Zaslow? The loss in the first week of the season shouldn't be carrying weight at the end of the year? How interesting how your argument changes 25 years later when your program is benefiting from it.
Roy, he's talking to you.
No.
We can't shut him up.
I'm with Roy.
He's James.
That was a rough year. That was remember, Oregon also beat Washington, so they also had like a weird head-to-head argument.
Is
Oh,
that-
forget about that. The argument's Miami and FSU.
Yeah,
that year.
Miami was ranked number 2 in all the polls, but the BCS had Miami behind FSU, who Miami beat earlier in that year. The national title game was the Orange Bowl, if you remember.
13-2.
Yeah.
What a disgrace.
Yeah, that was Miami would have rolled that Oklahoma team.
Would have killed
They
them.
absolutely would have. And
killed them.
And they beat number 2 Virginia Tech.
Okay, look, I have found it interesting, okay? I really have found this interesting, what we're about to talk about, because Lane Kiffin is the greatest of the used car salesmen who has realized through the bowels of what Nick Saban built, oh, we're going to dilute all it so much that what used to be one loss kills you. One loss kills you, so that we still remember it 20 years later. All right, Dorsey went up to Washington and lost on the road in the second game of the season. Otherwise, Miami's unbeaten, right? But unbeaten doesn't matter anymore. Like, that's ridiculous. Ohio State and Indiana are going to play, and all that unbeaten gets them is a bye, which isn't It's not nothing, but it's still not much considering what the stakes of that game would be. And this is the best Indiana team we've ever seen, right? Like, this is the top of the sport can now be run by grifter Lane Kiffin being most griftery because he does not care about whatever you think the sanctuary of sports are. It's a business venture, and if you told him when he got to Mississippi, day he signed, hey, Lane, you're going to be able to springboard this into the LSU job, he would have said, yep, can we speed it up? Can we make that faster? Because I'm only here to get there. I'm only here. Like, this is as cutthroat as any we've seen in terms of cutting through the bullshit of what the bureaucracy of this machine is, the economy of it. Lane Kiffin ruled it just because Florida wanted something, and LSU said, nah, we've been embarrassed enough by Brian Kelly and this. We're going to fix it right now with 13-25 for his career against ranked teams. That has never had expectations. Lane Kiffin, like, not in college sports, because what the burning path that Lane Kiffin has built to this rehabilitation is staggering, where it's like, yep, $12 million a year, I'll take whatever job I want, I won't recruit. It's just for play calling. Get me the athletes, I'll call the plays, and I'll do something here that feels surgical because I did it with small players at FAU, and I could take it anywhere. At Mississippi, I don't care about you. Yeah, I'll do the whole Marty Smith dance in a barn or a field. But Lane Kiffin was always Boca. Lane Kiffin was never Mississippi. Lane Kiffin went to Mississippi just so that he could get back to something that felt more like Boca. Can I get to the Tampa Bay Bucks head coaching job? Can I get back to Florida?
But how different is Baton Rouge?
That's Baton Rouge it's different than Mississippi. Look, Mississippi is the poorest. Mm-hmm. Mississippi in our country has a lot of poverty that you feel everywhere, and the fact that he's won by what he was calling a brown lake to rehabilitate himself so that he could get to the point where he could choose between LSU and Florida could get its SEC feelings hurt because LSU big boyed them. LSU, after embarrassing themselves in the Brian Kelly sweepstakes, they want to play at the top of the sport, and they're willing to give the job to just call the plays. Like, we don't care what else you do. Just call the plays for our athletes because we've got the athletes to beat Oklahoma on the road. And we feel like we can win with Les Miles and we can win with Ed Orgeron. And we're LSU. We deserve to be at the top of this conference. To see the business of this play out over the weekend, it was greasy, it was gross, and it's the truest thing you'll ever see. Like, Lane Kiffin cut through the swamp of this just to get to Baton Rouge. And then the next job, he hopes, will be whatever the professional one is when he gets to be a genius because everybody wants him to be the next Saban.
At what point when he was praying on what decision to make, did he realize I should also threaten my coaching staff? They have to come with me now or never come at all.
I don't know how real that part was. I mean, clearly a lot of the coaches.
The praying part?
Well, about the threat. More so the implications, as it might have been implied, but the entire offensive staff appears to be on that plane with Lane to Baton Rouge.
Can I go down this path, please? Because, Zaz, I know that you've been close to this, close to college football. You've done some reporting. You were the first to report.
I reported over a week ago on ESPN Radio. No one seems to give me that hat tip.
Yeah. That's incredible. You're not getting credit for reporting this accurately.
Wait a minute.
That's amazing.
Okay, so he did report, though, on ESPN. Lane Kiffin was going to LSU, but Mike Ryan has also learned a great deal about the business of this and was texting both me and...
You're on the come up, Mike. I'll admit.
Thank you.
Me and Zaz all weekend. Before the news broke, Mike Ryan knows the people who are talking about the things that would sort of give him information around Lane Kiffin that I believe he has that no one else would have, just because Mike's sort of looking at all of this, interested in the business of it, but also with some journalistic standards of his own. And so the information he's giving you...
Why are you asking that as a question? Like we
because he wanted me to confirm. I can confirm.
We kicked everybody's ass on the Lane story. Like we were a week ahead of everything.
Yep.
We were telling you who was faking it, what was posturing. We were telling you what was going to happen.
And then we learned who doesn't have any journalistic integrity because I didn't see any of them credit me.
So I'll get back to that.
I don't like this bit.
No, well, it's not a bit. Zaslow.
The one where he texts me what's going to happen and then takes credit for it, I don't like it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry about how I get my information. You know what? That's exactly how I'm going to leave it. Don't worry. That was actually a good line. Don't worry how I get my information.
You get it from me.
Did I? You not
Just
hear what I
reveal
said?
the source.
Did you not hear what I said?
You don't reveal sources.
Don't worry how I get my information.
He's not. He's just saying. He's just protecting his journalistic standards.
I should learn from him.
Look, you're in the shadows of. You've known everything that's going on here, and I do believe people need to see with the maximum sort of reported details, because we've learned in recent years that some insiders are bought and that
No one could ever buy me.
The information,
unless they give me enough money.
Mike, you have to have been on the inside of what felt dirty, where Lane Kiffin is treating all of this as like privately. I'm the coach who gives the least amount of bleeps. I don't care whether I coach the last game or not. I'd like to.
I think he cared.
He did, but it's not for the reasons that everyone's saying. Yeah, he wants to be there for the kids and win a national title. That's on the list. But the last week of posturing has been just, are we going to fire Lane, or is LSU going to give us money for taking him? This is all about Lane wanting his contract and LSU coming to the table and Ole Miss not wanting to have to pay Lane to fire him, even though they told him you can't come into work. So that's what's been happening over the last week. Lane made his decision last Friday. As we told you during that show, there's a decision happening today, and it doesn't look like it's going to be Florida. The last week has been, let's see what happens in the SEC title game, and let's argue about, are we going to fire you, or is LSU going to pay us to take you? And that fight is still going on.
What would have happened if Auburn came back and won that game Saturday night? Because we were all sitting around waiting all day long for the decision that
Mainly
was
Marty
expected.
Smith.
And then it became a thing where it's like, all right, well, what if Auburn wins tonight? Or, that's clearly what we're waiting for now. What if Auburn did win that game?
I happen to think, not happen to know, but I think if Ole Miss was in that SEC title game, then a loss again can hurt them, because the committee could say, look, your coach is leaving. You have 2 losses now. You're not going to be the same team going forward.
Oh, you think the committee could possibly penalize teams for losing in the conference championship game?
It's in their criteria. It's literally spelled out.
They didn't do that last year.
It's spelled out. I think they're good because they won the Egg Bowl. But if they lost the Egg Bowl, I can tell you, they'd be out. They'd be out.
I really did think, okay, let me backtrack a little bit on this Lane story, because, Mike, I'd like you to gather yourself and just give me the 5 most interesting morsels that you have seen in just being interested on how the mechanics of all of this works, where Lane Kiffin goes through the Nick Saban path of rehab to professional coaches stop here for a second before they get on to that next thing. Sarkisian got the best job in the sport and got it fairly quickly. So, and Cristobal, after failing at FIU, leaving FIU, how would we appraise?
Fired
at
That was all Pete
FIU?
Garcia.
Okay, but fine. But ends up rehabilitating his career by going through Nick Saban. I'd like the 5 most interesting things you have. I felt bad for Marty Smith this weekend. I've been calling Marty Smith. I keep checking in on him. He has aged a great deal over the course of the weekend.
That seems like Photoshop.
No, this is what happened to Marty. He's very healthy and he's fit, but you cannot be near that Brown Lake in Mississippi and chase Lane Kiffin around for 36 hours without being made totally crazy. That's the worst assignment of Marty Smith's career. That man's been on the White House lawn throwing a football. He didn't live to dodge fire trucks in Mississippi trying to get to the bottom of whether Lane Kiffin is going to get his next grift at Florida, LSU, or stay at Mississippi for all the money in the world.
It's not Nick Saban that was out there as the college coach free agent. Lane Kiffin has never coached a playoff game. It's crazy, the coverage that we've done over this.
It is sheer lunacy, but it's about fame. It's what they've done with the mercenary. Brian Kelly will buy your coach. Oh, you're embarrassing. Never mind. Marcus Freeman is the new hot thing. Brian Kelly, you're out. We'll burn through it quicker now because LSU has the money allegedly to get in the game. Because when I read, if you guys are reading any of the details on how Brian Kelly and LSU were fighting over this money and how silly some of it was, and in some cases, They don't always know if they have the money. They'll sort of just figure it out by bringing a swirl around their program. Look, Colorado's going to pay for years of Colorado football just because what Dion did with what we were doing with coaches. So, of course, if that's what we're going to make the coaches as the hood ornaments of the business, are you famous? What Lane Kiffin is, it's not win or win with expectations. What Lane Kiffin has done the best in his rehab tour, because he has called plays, that's right up there, but it's also being a personality of Renegade that says bleep you, who clearly doesn't seem to care very much what you think of him in any sort of way, professionally or personally, but will say after the slate of games this weekend, the most important game is the one I'm going to tonight with my son, Knox. That's the only game that matters.
And we told you Knox had all the influence here when it came to Lane going to LSU. All right, I have a top 5, and it's not just about Lane. It's about all the ramifications of Lane's decision, and all this stuff is buttoned up journalistically in a way that you're not getting anywhere else. Number 1.
Number 5.
Well, yeah, number 5. John Sumrall was initially kind of a joke at the start of this entire process. John Sumrall.
Mike, do you not know how to play this game? Do you want to start?
There's a lot of
dancing
here.
Look, no, you're not dancing well. Look,
all right, let's start it again.
Doesn't always start.
That's
Andy.
okay.
We start with 1 or 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please. All right, I got it. No more interruptions. Here we go. Number 5. John Sumrall was initially a joke in this experience. Auburn was being applied a lot of pressure from LSU and Florida when there were initial leaks about John Sumrall being linked to both LSU and Florida. And part of that was LSU and Florida were trying to get John Sumrall hired over at Auburn.
Did you, Zaslow, report anything about this on ESPN?
Yeah, I said Summerall is going to be announced as the Florida Gator head coach on Sunday.
Before Mike or
I
after
said that
Mike?
on Friday night.
He said that before me, but after my text to him.
Yo, what did I already tell you about that?
I have the proof.
This is a very awkward situation that we have going on
I want people to come out against Adam Schefter like that.
Well, but-
I told Adam.
Well,
Number 4.
are you using Zaz as a puppet?
Number 4. No, someone's being used, and it's very clearly me.
Is-
Number 4.
Wait a minute.
Zaz is just checking in on you.
is
Mike, how's it going?
Zaz,
Yeah.
Wait
How
a
do you
minute.
know? How do you know I got it from you?
Look, Zaz has been reporting things weeks ahead of everybody else. Weeks ahead of accurately. He hasn't gotten a thing wrong yet. Correct?
Maybe you're like my third source.
You referred to Kiffin to LSU as done a week ago.
Yup, over a week ago. I said it on ESPN.
Why are your things not getting traction?
I don't know. That's what I already said. Anyone out there who tweets out about Lane Kiffin and Sumrall too, for that matter, and you don't do that hat tip. You know what? You know about that hat tip, Dan? That's when you do the H and you do the slash and the T. That means you're giving somebody credit on Twitter. That's how hat tip works.
It shouldn't be.
Have some integrity.
You know how top 5s work?
That stands for hat tip?
That does stand for hat tip.
Why did I think it was hashtag?
Look, but I think Zaslow deserves more than this. Zaslow is breaking the news and not getting any credit for being an insider. Are
you serious?
What is the list of things?
Yeah. Okay. So there was Lane Kiffin. Also,
Is this your list or Mike's? Where are we?
This is the list. I came in here 3 Mondays ago, I think it was, and what did I say that morning? I said Nico Harrison gonna get fired today.
I think you posed it as a question.
Nope.
No.
But it was still a good thought of, like, could he get fired today? Like, you did it
Okay,
kind of like...
you pronounced report wrong. It was a good report. Nico Harrison got fired that day.
It wasn't a question. It was a report. And did we forget to say it?
Yeah.
He came into the meeting with that news, and it broke 2 hours later.
True.
My fault.
Dan,
My fault.
I have
True
bombshell
story.
reporting here. Please read what is on your screen right
this is
now.
bullshit.
This is a timestamp from Friday.
This is unprecedented.
You can
what's
go
going
ahead
on
and
here.
read word for word, play by play.
A source outing the reporter.
You can read play by play here if you'd like.
Unprecedented.
So-
What is happening here?
Can you go ahead and read this? Friday,
Jealous.
4/21. It's freezing here in Norman. I'm completely unprepared for this weather. Worse than last week. I'm embarrassed. That
True
is a
story.
text. Can you confirm that this is a text from you?
True story.
All right, I volunteer that 17 in Pittsburgh, and what, you were dealing with 40 degrees in
Yeah, but it
Norman?
was really windy.
Zaz goes, do you have a coat? I don't. I didn't even bring my hooded sweatshirt.
Yeah, see, I'm just checking in on you here.
Yeah, I'm like, yes, I brought that because I'm an adult. Zaz, I'm embarrassed. And then, let's scroll down. This is still Friday. Summerall to Florida will be announced Sunday. Lane to LSU tomorrow. I'm going to announce it on ESPN tonight. Your intentions are spelled out.
You know
me
what?
saying I'm going to stop telling you,
such
and
a
you just
betrayal.
slapping me in the face
This
when I'm
is
an insider.
such a
You know
betrayal.
what? You know what? Leave that on the screen. This is not even a betrayal. Dan, calm down. You don't even have to be upset for me, okay? Because nowhere here. Thank you for the proof. Thank you, Mike, for helping me out here. Because nowhere did I ask for anything. I didn't ask any questions. You just all of a sudden said... You all of a sudden
Would you like
said
evidence that you've asked?
Summerall to Florida will be announced Sunday, Lane to LSU tomorrow. I read that on my end. I'm like, yeah, I already know that. So I'm going to tell Mike
Are you
I'm
arguing that
going
you
to
never asked?
announce it on ESPN tonight.
Hold on. Be very careful here. Are you arguing that you never ask me what's going to happen?
I'm telling you.
Because I got that text
in
too,
this
Zaz.
situation.
I got that text too.
I already knew this.
Oh, it was just implied. Like, of course. Why is this guy telling me the obvious
I
thing?
didn't imply just
Okay.
all of a sudden decided
Number
to say
four.
something that I knew.
You
Number
know what?
4.
Wait. Just we'll get to number 4 in a second, Mike. I do want to come back here though, in defense of Zaz here.
What are you doing?
Because
in defense of he is just. It is obvious what he is doing.
No.
Head-to-head has
First-
to matter.
First of all, it's obvious what you're doing, which is trying to out yourself as a source when he has not confirmed that you're a source, and what I thought was
I'll go to
proof.
jail for my
Put-
source.
This
put
is
it-
gaslighting.
Put it back up on the screen, please. What I initially thought was you providing clear and obvious proof that you were the one that gave Zaz that information.
I'll go to jail before I reveal my source.
These text exchanges do not actually confirm your case because it could be read that
Yep.
Zaslow was saying to you,
Exactly how it
yeah,
reads.
I'm going to report it tonight.
Yep.
And you're saying, I'm never telling you anything again.
I don't care.
And you saying, you don't care. I'm an insider.
Yeah.
I don't need you.
Sick. You know what that was, Mike? Played yourself.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Did Mike Ryan play himself? Number 4, Mike.
I would like some context there. Number 4, Scott Strickland in all this. Scott Strickland is the AD. So remember what I told you in number 5. I know we have quite a amount of time that has gone between number 5 and number 4. I'm aware of that. So initially, John Summerall was just being invoked to kind of force Auburn's hand. Once it became clear last Friday that Lane Kiffin was not going to Florida, Florida has a problem on their hands because they were convinced Lane was going there. They were convinced. And now they have to go to a backup plan. Scott Strickland, he has got a booster issue, and he's embattled over there despite being on a hot seat, even though he won a national title
They're
in
also
basketball.
a basketball school.
He won a national title, and yet he's on the hot seat. So he's got a clash. Boosters that feel wronged by Lane Kiffin, because he kind of did wrong them, that want to make a huge splash, and him seizing on this opportunity like the Lane thing was a Lane thing, but now I want a head coach that I can control. And I don't want to go after Lincoln Riley like you're telling me to. I don't want to go after Dabo like you're telling me to. We're losing time here. We can't get caught with our pants down even more. We have to hit this ground running. So after John Summerall initially canceled a meeting with Florida because he knew he was a pawn in all of this, they come back to John Summerall and offer him half. It wasn't their first choice. Eli Drinkwitz over at Missouri was. But Scott Strickland kind of wants to control the head coach. He doesn't want a strong personality over there. And in digging on Eli, he realized he kind of pushed out the last AD in Mizzou. I don't like that. I'm going with Summerall.
So there's a lot of information there, Zaslow, and I want to tackle some of it here because in the business of sport, what everyone just saw publicly is after stumbling through the Brian Kelly stuff, LSU still looked over in Florida and said, no, we want him.
That's number 3. Brian Kelly got fired because Billy Napier got fired. That's why it timed out the way that it did. Because everyone knew Lane was going to Florida. This was an open secret. The plans were laid down on the ground for this like 2 years ago. If everybody knew, if Billy Napier struggled, Lane Kiffin was going to be the guy. Under normal circumstances, Brian Kelly would finish the season, but these weren't normal circumstances. LSU wanted to throw its bleep on the table and say, you think you're getting Lane Kiffin? We're a much better job. We're not this clown show, even though the governor's getting involved. We'll tidy it up, and we'll offer Lane the same amount of money. And if all things are equal, we're the better job. By the way, Summerall ended up accepting an offer for half of what Florida was offering Lane Kiffin.
So that deserves more fanfare there. I also just
He
want
happens to know?
Yeah, I mean, that Okay, but I thought literal fanfare as opposed because he says
I just felt like that felt like we got some, that felt like I happened to know within the top 5.
But just and as you see the tectonic plate shift on salaries, because I mean you're looking at Missouri and Vanderbilt are in the SEC game. They've never played in that actual top tier before, right? So. This is Vanderbilt's first 10-win season ever, I think, and Missouri just got Drinkwitz $10 to $11 million a year, $12 million a year, as Lane goes to LSU for $12 million a year.
It's going to be more than that. Summerall and Eli share an agent too, so that was ever present here.
The shifting of away from Brian Kelly into the next hot thing, it's funny and it's short-sighted, but let's get to number 2 here because the amazing thing about Lane, again, I keep saying it, 13 and 25 against ranked teams, he's not willing to recruit. He's just there to call plays and be the face for your program. Like, this is a person who's saying with not a great winning record against ranked teams, I'm only willing so hard to work at these parts of the job. The one I want to do is I call plays on Saturday. That's what I do. Get me the best players, and I'll run your business from calling plays on Saturday.
And just the brand alone guarantees you top 5 in high school recruiting. Ole Miss does really well in recruiting, but they have to hit the portal hard over there, and Lane isn't really built for year in, year out consistency over at Ole Miss because it's tougher to recruit high school kids. You have one of the best, most talent-rich high school football states in the nation in Louisville. You already have an NIL squad over there and the support from an athletic department that has all these templates that you can plug and play, and Lane Kiffin is actually reveling in that.
If I can, just for the history of what LSU is as it comes in Big Boys, Florida, okay?
Did I say Louisville? I meant Louisiana.
Nick Saban knows that you climb through that portion of the swamp. Get the best players. You can build your Alabama elsewhere. Just get the best players. It's pretty simple what Nick Saban built. I can't believe that he was able to sustain it with distance for such a long time. But it's his greatest regret, he says, of his career is that that he didn't stay at LSU, that he feels like he could have built all of that at LSU, and he could have, so much so that what he left in his wake, even in that conference, before it became the thing that birthed Missouri's and Vanderbilt's all of a sudden, that are now profit centers out of nowhere, Vanderbilt's first 10-win season ever. Then wins championships for 2 people in Ed Orgeron and Les Miles that's, let's just say, more of the Neanderthal version of whatever the play caller Lane Kiffin mercenary is. Les Miles and Ed Orgeron aren't the reason the program won. Ed Orgeron had the best team I've ever seen in college football.
Is Orgeron going to be on Lane Kiffin's staff?
I think so.
He'll be recruiting.
Yeah, I think
It's pretty cool.
I told you there's real steam behind that.
So where are we?
Target.
Real
I don't
steam
think-
behind that. Wait a
Dan,
minute. I told
Dan-
you there's real steam behind that. Seems
I don't
like
have imaging for that.
I should have new imaging. I think that there's real
well,
steam
Dan,
behind
let me
that.
ask you a question because you're an Ed Orgeron insider. You see him running on the beach. Have you seen him running on the beach in the last week?
I have not.
I've been running in the bayou.
Okay. He said he'd take his truck in a day to go meet Lane Kiffin and do
He's worked on his staff
do the
before.
recruiting for him.
Yeah, he's worked on his staff before. So, number 2 in all this, Lane daring Ole Miss to fire him. It's not the kids. I told you this. It's not about the kids. It's not even about the CFP. This is all about money. I understand. It seems like the most obvious thing in the world. Ole Miss being like, we don't want you to be coaching here because you're just going to try to steal our players while you're actively doing it. Signing day is in January. Why would we have a lame duck head coach that will only be, I'm sure he'll try to be winning the games, but he's going to be in that building with our kids trying to steal our guys? I get that. But now you've guaranteed that he's going to be outside your building trying to steal your kids. So there's an argument to be made to just have Lane Kiffin stick around, but I get why Ole Miss is burned and didn't want that. What's going to be fascinating to see is how does this actually shake out? Is he getting fired because he wants to come into work and is being told no? Or is his buyout going to be paid by LSU? I think all that stuff is still being figured out.
How can anyone think it'd be appropriate for him to continue coaching the team for what they would hope would be another month and a half? All right.
I think Summerall's coaching Tulane.
Different situation.
How can anyone think it's okay for, let's say we're at the beginning of January, and instead of getting ready to play in the national semifinal, Lane Kiffin is out recruiting and putting stuff together for, the other team in the SEC, same league, the other team in the SEC that he also coaches.
But the lack of perspective that allows a sentence to, just hit off the stray end of the business of this is we can't have Lane around the kids. He'll steal them.
He's going to be outside your building trying to steal your kids is a real sentence.
Yeah, but it's how you
now
build.
He's pissed.
It's how you build the program. Well, okay, so let's examine for a second the real deep history, because I don't know what your number one is here on Lane. Let me be clear about this. I think this is understood, is it not?
What?
Lane Kiffin does not give a about your construct on what you think the business of sports are. He has less give up than anybody. And so Lane Kiffin controlling the entire sport and being covered like he's Nick Saban sends Marty Smith out. Where was he? He's moving around fire trucks. Marty Smith had a very bad 36 hours. I'm trying to get a hold of Marty. Marty is all of a sudden hard to get a hold of. That's never been the case before. But Marty, I am saying that the last 36 hours of Marty Smith's life are something that he did not enjoy. Like maybe getting this is something, but Marty knows what the grift is. He knows he's interviewing a used car salesman. He shouldn't have to chase him around for 36 hours to get the exclusive so that he can interview him on a tarmac that's dusty.
I want to play from the night before. What we're looking at here is the interview when he made his decision. The night before, this is just a 16-second clip of how broken Marty Smith was doing this reporting.
I wrote him at 8:46 Central Time and said, "Will there be a resolution tonight? Please, God in heaven, tell me yes."
So that's where he was late
That's
into the
not
night.
journalism, Marty. Marty, this is not journalism we're doing when you're chasing someone around a fire truck and saying, "Please end this, sir. Put me out of my misery."
Will there be a resolution tonight? Please, God in heaven, tell me yes.
He knows this is wrong what they're doing to Marty Smith.
When Marty was given that gig, he definitely thought it was going to be like one stand-up and then go
Come
home,
on.
right?
Please,
Come on.
God in heaven,
We can't
tell
be
me
in
yes.
on the grift of the business of this so much that we.
Please, God in heaven, tell me yes.
Marty's like, let me get back to the football. Football Saturdays are fun. What is this nonsense? Having to chase Lane Kiffin around. I know
Please,
what.
God in heaven, tell me yes.
Lane, I know what you are. We all know what you are who cover the sport. We kind of like it. We kind of like that you're dirty. You tell the truth.
But then he got him for that interview, and he asked all the right questions. It
Did
was
he?
a 5-minute interview. It was just, it was all
All
good.
right,
And
so-
Lane gave him the proper amount of time. Lane and Marty go way back.
All
They
right,
have
so
a great
is
relationship.
Mississippi, what sounds worth playing here on where Mississippi's going to get back, get mad before we get to Mike's number one?
Let's just play the first one where Lane just kind of gives him credit for all the reporting he's done.
Well, first, I just watched you do something unbelievable and go off-road around the fire trucks to get here. So, amazing job by you. You know that this was a very challenging, difficult day. You know, we went through a lot last night with Keith Carter trying to figure out a way, to make this playoff, run work and be able to coach the team. And at the end of the day, that's his decision. And I totally respect that. I understand that decision. And, so I just totally wish the team the best of luck, wish that I was coaching, but understand that it was a very challenging position for him and the chancellor to be in, and totally respect that. So, just really hope they play really well and go win the national championship.
Lane Kiffin's going to be outside your building trying to steal your kids.
It's wild. He's like, you went around a fire truck. Like, what if Marty Smith got arrested trying to do this
I think
report?
Marty did. I'm guessing that Marty Smith
Scheffler situation.
had a rented truck and did go off-roading. I think that Marty broke the law in order to get that interview, but also questioned his life and his self-worth while he did
Please,
so.
God in heaven, tell me yes.
This is not what we do with our sources, Marty. You know better than this. So let's hear Lane saying that he is also mad and hurt because he can't go back and talk to his team, and the professional of this doesn't even allow him to be human.
Again, I totally respect Keith's decision.
So that was his decision?
Yeah. He asked me not to come to the meeting and said I couldn't come, but which I totally understand. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. We're trying to find a way, to make this work and coach the team and give the team the best chance to win. But I also, he's got a job to do, and like he said, he has to live here. So like you said, maybe all the national people understand why he should let me coach, but he has to live here, and it's a little different when you're the AD. So totally respect that. And Keith has been amazing to us over the 6 years.
You can't commit to go work for a competing rival and stay in your current job for possibly another 2 months.
Oh, but I thought that he has to live here was an elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that sound, oh my God. Like in terms of Lane trying to publicly do, this is about God and family, and I got an important game with Knox tonight. That's the most important game in my life. As he has to do that to keep up the veneer of this, I thought for him to hit him in the elbow with something that is, he has to live here,
Like
which makes it
he has to live here.
which makes it sound like, well, he's got to live with the fandom as I take off in a private jet. He has to live in the community, but it's also the slight of you have to live here. I never wanted to live here.
Oh, I thought it was just the former there.
So, like you said, maybe all the national people understand why he should let me coach, but he has to live here.
That is actually worse than he has to live here, which is like he's kind of small time in Ole Miss. I understand why everyone in the nation would want me coaching Ole Miss because I am the program, but, he's got to live here.
This is how you graduate to all the things Lane Kiffin has graduated toward. What else from that interview is worth playing, Chris?
I think we hit the good stuff there. That was pretty revelatory, him volunteering to Marty that they were working on an agreement that protected Ole Miss. Obviously, Ole Miss wasn't satisfied with the level of protection, but now...
How can they be protected?
I get it does seem like the most obvious thing in the world, but now he doesn't have any restrictions or an agreement in place, and he's got the power of LSU, and he's already hosting Spot the Ball. So he's going to be coming after your kids full bore now while you're trying to avoid a college football playoff distraction. I don't think you're going to get that. I think Lane Kiffin's going to try to acquire
Ole Miss
talent.
gets to keep their integrity.
No, but hold on.
That matters.
Does it?
That matters when you're spurned like this. When someone says you're not good enough for me, I'm going elsewhere. Basically, at that point, all you have is your integrity.
But they're not good enough for him, and they won't be as good as they are right now. They have a legitimate chance to win in the college football playoff with the most creative offensive mind in the sport, with a great offense that can go win this thing. And to have him now devoting all of his time to this other program, at least make him do a time split. Even if he was there trying to recruit your kids over, ultimately, and stealing your kids from outside of your building, he'd be doing it from inside of the building where he could help lead them to a championship. We've seen coaches do this before. We've seen coaches that have gone elsewhere, started recruiting for the other school, flown back, coached their team into these important bowl games, and it's ultimately affected them in a negative way.
Okay, but
it'll be
coach them in a bowl game.
How do you know?
No, I'm talking about past examples. Like, past examples was coaching in a bowl game, when now it's coaching the team for almost another 2 months.
Well, it was
During
already a
signing
month
day
and a half.
Signing day falling in that window. The difference now is National Signing Day happens while the college football playoff is going on.
I'm going to say it.
Having him be distracted while trying to coach Ole Miss can only help you if you're Ole Miss and you're getting your next coach in line. To me,
I'll say it. This calendar's wacky.
It is. It really is.
No, but you know what? That's a cop-out, man, the whole calendar thing. Lane Kiffin made a choice to go coach somewhere else. Who cares what the calendar is?
It's a wacky calendar.
Okay, it's a wacky calendar, but again, do you realize we're laughing? Think about what we're talking about here. Marty Smith has been aged by the process of Lane Kiffin will be outside your building trying to steal your kids. It's asinine. It's just the silliest of the stupidity. It's
to live here.
Around all of this money, we're just judging the games with arguments, and it's not real. It's all made for television, and Lane Kiffin runs the business. Mike, what's number one?
Let's go full circle with number one, because John Summerall went from pawn, knowing he was a pawn, to having an offer on the table from Auburn and having an offer on the table from Florida midweek that he was trying to... Sorry, that's my bad. Trying to decide between Auburn and Florida. The decision was made. He knew that he was a pawn for Florida and a backup plan, but Auburn was forcing him to keep guys like Durkin on his staff, and he didn't feel like he had the autonomy over his staff at Auburn, which is why he goes back and takes half of what they offered to Lane and landed on Florida.
I think that Zaz is more of an insider than you are.
All right.
You're on the come up.
Cool. I'm just going to leave this segment early.
you can be hurt by that. But Zaslow, Zaslow
keep working hard.
Gets the.
So did we.
You're a rising star.
I believe the second most viewed World Cup adjacent broadcast. It's what's going to happen on Friday when we do the World Cup draw.
Mouthful.
That global audience is incredible, and it's going to lay out the groups for you, and you're all of a sudden going to see which matches are going to be played where, who's got the group of death. All that stuff is going to matter. So why don't you take the guesswork out of buying soccer tickets with Game Time? Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Dan for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Go download the Game Time app today.
There are a great many things that I want to get to in college football and pro football. The Lane Kiffin stuff is the juiciest. We have not even gotten to the portion of this that allows us in 2025 to wonder whether it's okay to ever call somebody a hoe. Like, we've got a hoe down, a hoe off between a couple of different stories in sports because Jawan Jennings is getting the reputation you do not want to have around the league, where these paid professionals are like, this person is behaving on a football field in a way that's, we're all here professional adults.
And he's behaving like a hoe.
Bringing back hoe in 2025 was not something that I thought I'd appreciate in sports.
It hits, right?
Well, we've got two hoe stories. There are two of them. Because how do you arrive, if you're Jawan Jennings, on the reputation of last week somebody got suspended for hitting me in the junk with his cast, suspended for a year with what was clearly criminal behavior, but now we know there's a fool out there running around talking crazy.
If you would have told me back then, like, obviously it looked really bad that dude got punched in the junk, all right? But if you had told me it's because he's a hoe, we're like, oh.
Now it makes sense why the football, was so far away from the punch.
Right. Well, but let's check in here with Shelby Harris, okay? And it's just delightful here, right? You think of what you're watching on Sunday, and it seems, yes, that's terribly violent. And then there's just a friendly man named Shelby who will tear your head off on weekends, and he doesn't like the way that man is playing football.
He's a hoe, and I want that known. Like, I see why he got punched in the nuts, because he says some things that you should not say to another man ever. But, like, I don't respect it because you say that, then run behind your O-line. That's some real soft, and I want that known. I see exactly why they punched your nuts. I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
It is now known.
Okay, it is
He
now
wanted it known.
Well, but this is the part of this story that I like. I've told you guys this before. There was a rumble somewhere on the sideline, and all the 49ers run behind Trent Williams. Everyone in that league knows, including Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, you were lucky to get close to that quarterback yesterday because Trent Williams still rules that sport, with a documentary out called Silverback, I believe. Like, that man, everyone is afraid of that man in that sport. And, of course, Jawan Jennings, if he were to behave like a hoe, would hide behind Trent Williams. We all would.
He's a hoe.
Faux show.
So what is the Lane Kiffin sound that we have?
Thank God that is a real documentary.
Yep, from 2021.
Risky. That's one of those that you have to be sure of. Thank you, Dan.
I was very scared as I did it.
I'm glad you did, though. Shows that you're still with it and sharp and not afraid of consequences whatsoever.
I was, you know what?
My guy does not play it safe.
As I was,
he will trot out Silverback when he's got 70% confidence on it, thinking that that's okay. That
I shouldn't have done
100%.
that. Yes, bad judgment by me. Thankfully, I got that right. I was surprised that everything there existed. Look, this
that's
man,
how close it was, Dan. Could have been over there.
That man's story is amazing. I believe they had to cut open his skull. He is stronger than everyone else in the sport. I was impressed by just Myles Garrett not being able to do anything with that yesterday.
Myles Garrett essentially backed up the hoe comments, too, yesterday.
Did.
Like, he was a lot classier the way he said it.
It was a hoe sign.
Yeah.
He's a hoe.
Faux show.
Okay. Can we get to the Lane Kiffin sound, or is it backstory? Okay, do we have – so what is the backstory here? This is a Mississippi podcaster that Lane is confronting because the podcaster – and forgive me, I do not know this person's name. What is this person's story? It's somebody protecting the righteous identity of Mississippi, not happy with how Lane Kiffin is behaving. So he has made some sort of comparison. This is what happens when you marry
You can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
Because a hoe don't know how to act.
Ben Garrett.
So Ben Garrett, thank you. We'll assign you can't turn a hoe into a housewife to you.
Because a hoe don't know what to act.
Lane Kiffin, thank you, Zaslow, ever supportive. And here is here is Lane Kiffin saying, I'm not down for your hoe.
So you want to walk in here and call me a hoe? We'll see how it goes.
You want to walk in here and call me a hoe?
The rare outside interaction where the guy's like, do you want to come inside?
He's a hoe.
Why don't we go inside,
Yeah,
pal?
usually
See how that goes.
let's take this. You're right.
It's usually
you want to
let's
go
take this
inside?
Hey, let's take this inside. See how that works.
Well, outside is where he'll steal your kids.
He's a hoe.
I can't believe that Lane Kiffin is the most gangster person in the sport.
Let's go inside.
Let's go.
Let's take this inside.
You want to take this inside?
He's a hoe.
Outside, I'll steal your kids. Outside the building, I'll steal your kids. Inside your building, I'll beat you so hard you won't have kids.
He's a hoe.
So multiple hoe allegations this weekend.
Yeah, and I saw our guy from Ole Miss, the podcaster, the journalist.
He's a hoe.
I saw his.
No, don't. He's a hoe. No, no one's calling Ben. Is someone calling Ben Garrett the hoe?
He's a hoe.
Look, everything's on the table right now.
Yeah, he's not backing off, Chris Cody. So I actually saw like a video clip from the content that he was putting out this week, and he doubled down on the hoe stuff, making his point and playing hoes in different area codes to support him.
You know about them hoes in different area codes?
I'm not comfortable with the part of your personality that has been unleashed in here. A little more comfortable than I'd like.
Perhaps you do the radio edit version where you say pros.
Also, over the weekend, evidently, the Jags punter threatened to kill somebody. That's a thing that happened this weekend.
We have a Titans running back here reacting to the threat.
Poor Titans, the only team not playing in a close game in the 1 o'clock window. The Titans just getting dragged by a Jacksonville team that may or may not be good. I don't know. Seems like the AFC is kind of flawed in every way. So any of them can come out of there. But evidently Jacksonville's punter is crazy because he was talking about trying to kill a dude.
I don't really know why the punter did that. You know, honestly, I was just trying to play hard, and he came up to me, said he was going to kill me, you know? So I don't know what made him do that.
Yeah, I mean, just things kind of tempers flared from that moment, you thought? I mean, just how did the frustrations of the game kind of boil into that moment, you think?
I don't think it was any frustration. I think it was just us playing hard, and me and the other guy was just playing hard, and I think he just wanted something to say. Honestly, I have no idea. Might have been a couple plays before, and I made a block on him. Maybe I don't know what made him want to do that, but yeah, that was surprising to me. I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
I don't know why it's so funny to me.
Well, it's
he's
because
so pleasant.
No, it's funny because he's charmingly befuddled. Like we're asking of like a kind human being who does a very violent thing for a living. We're talking to him about like what happened out there with the punter. He's like, I don't know, that guy was kind of crazy. He threatened to kill me.
I don't know why he threatened to kill me.
Dan, he was just playing hard, and then someone wanted to kill him.
Now we have a picture of the punter. Oh, he doesn't.
It looks like a murderer, doesn't it?
Okay, well, does he? Yeah, I guess.
Fits the profile. White.
Roy, earlier in the show, I've been told there's a number of different things in football that I want to get to, include, I want to ask the question seriously by poll. Does Aaron Rodgers look like someone in a Survivor movie, like toward the end of it, where he's being hunted by other humans, like through the jungle? Because I've got to think after 11 or 12 games, he's looking up and being like, why am I doing any of this? What's the point of anything? And he's blaming his receivers, which gets to be the top headline yesterday, somehow over that football day where everybody's broken, okay? These guys are going to suffer through the holidays. Herbert's out there playing with one hand. Aaron Rodgers and Justin Herbert can't sneak because they can't really take a snap under center. They've got to shotgun it. Where the margins for the sport are so small that Jacksonville yesterday, did you see how they were struggling? Because the long snapper being hurt sort of affects your entire weekend. No one thinks about this. The long snapper, all of a sudden you're throwing flutter balls back there, they'll get blocked. So the long snapper getting hurt basically takes out 3 position players, where your holder, your kicker, and your long snapper, you can't trust them. And Jacksonville's got one of the best ones. The margins are this big. And Aaron Rodgers, after a woeful offensive performance, where he's got a 311-pound tight end. That Georgia locker room had some athletes in it, huh? Wirfs caught a pass yesterday, and he's 6'5", 320, and everyone's celebrating. And I'm like, Pittsburgh's got a tight end that's the same size. Like, what are we celebrating? Wirfs is a fat guy touchdown. 320 pounds isn't fat anymore in that sport.
It was back when the SEC was actually the SEC.
That used to be the Fridge's weight. Like, the Fridge was a novelty at like 330, and now we've got a 311-pound tight end running through the secondary. But where the football resides over the weekend, a lot of bad football. The best football was the holiday football professionally, where the 4 dogs win, and it's just total chaos in the NFL, where San Francisco is eking into the playoffs at 9-4. You know Dallas is better than most of the teams in that sport. They've actually fixed some things defensively. You know that Dallas is better than most of what you're seeing in the AFC. But somebody in the NFC is going to get left out, a Lions that you know would ransack a Patriots team that doesn't have its tackles? Like, you think the Patriots are going to survive not having their tackles the way that Josh Allen can? Because I don't. We'll see if Drake May is what we've been told he is, but this is pretty, because he's mobile, but this one's pretty hard here. He's out 2 tackles, and this is the pass rush. This is one of those games. Wouldn't you have liked to have had the 14 parlay that over the holidays, Thursday and Friday, just bet all the dogs? Just bet all the dogs. The Packers against the Lions.
Did you just ask if I wish I had a parlay with multiple teams in one?
I think I hear what Dan's saying.
The answer is
NFL should go to the college system where we just decide who's good.
Lose your tackles. That's it. No more Drake May. Doesn't matter that you're 10-2. Just like James Madison.
We agree, Dan.
It'd be funnier if we did it that way. And
would it? Or would it be chaos?
It's already chaos, though.
You think a sport that actually has a tiebreaker that's head-to-head has it right? You fools.
We are laughing, are we not, at the fact that the 4-8 Bengals are in the mix? Oh, I need to make an announcement, by the way. Carolina Panthers, season's over.
Whoa.
Yeah.
After that win.
Yeah.
You've seen everything that you need to.
Yep. Season's over for the Carolina
They
Panthers.
could host a playoff game.
Season's over.
That's crazy.
I mean, you just said it was over.
That game yesterday, so Stafford he'd thrown 2 picks all season. He threw 2 in the first quarter. He made the bonehead plays he never makes. He fumbled as well. 3 times the Rams looked incompetent because Matthew Stafford was on a streak unlike any we've ever seen from a quarterback before. 28 straight touchdowns without an interception. I don't think he'd thrown an interception since, week 6?
And then Adam Schefter tweeted that, and then he threw an interception the next drive.
Happened a couple of times. Happened to Hansen a couple of times on red zone. He said Brissett hasn't had an incompletion, interception. He said Folk's the best kicker in the league. Missed field goal.
Boom.
Both times happened to Hansen.
Nick Folk, that guy. He just on the sideline with his helmet. It just looks like he needs a cigarette.
Well, but so does Brock Bowers. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Brock Bowers, greatest tight end you've ever seen, or 50-year-old plumber? He needs to go bald. Brock Bowers.
Juju's been on that a while.
No, Brock, come on. You're a dominant athletic beast. You cannot look like a 50-year-old plumber. You look older than Terry Bradshaw. Put it on the poll. Does Brock Bowers look older than Terry Bradshaw? Good tight end room at Georgia.
I mean, that's why Washington wasn't playing as much.
Decent tight end room at Washington. All right, with Washington in Georgia. Roy, there's the sound. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for bringing me back to that sound. That sound is Roy disgusted. This is the most disgusted I've heard Roy about sports in 20 years. That was Roy earlier in the show.
Something that happened 25 years ago.
It was the righteous rate. Yes, this part of Roy has been dead inside. It's
angry as you've heard him in 20 years for a story that happened 25 years
That's
ago.
right.
No. It's so infuriating.
Is he saying nah, or it's just like, ugh?
No, he's just mad that what's happening to Miami is the same thing. He sees history repeat itself.
No.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
The story that he's talking about got everybody so mad that we were like, we're not doing computers anymore because we need to value head-to-head.
No.
And here we are 25 years later.
Roy, this has happened to you. You care about hockey this way, but I think your 2 most heartbroken, most feeling sports places are anything hockey related and the University of Miami being betrayed and wronged in a way that is clear and awful and obvious to everyone.
No, absolutely. The BCS, the loss to Ohio State, it's just ridiculous, man. I'm devastated again.
It's finally hitting you, huh?
Yes. No.
I wanted to talk.
25 years ago, Roy's like, I need time to process this.
No.
And he took 25 years.
No.
And he's finally ready to share his thoughts.
It sucks.
No. Man, my head was down. I was sulking the entire night after the. Yeah, I was. I was sulking the entire night after that Ohio State loss.
I don't believe it.
Hard to envision.
Hold on. So, but just
You weren't sulking.
just to be clear, lest anyone is under confusions right now on what's happening with betting odds, the way the schedule is played out, it's very possible that the University of Miami has played its last game this season. Correct?
Like,
they'll get a bowl.
bowl game.
Look at the best of the best unimportant bowls.
Don't sleep on the Tax Slayer Bowl, Dan.
I went to that Pop-Tart Bowl last year. That was fun.
You reject it, right, Mike? If you don't get in? No, I ain't going to your bowl. No thanks.
I don't like the Pop-Tart Bowl because we're a joke there. But if it's the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, that's a horse of a different color.
And the Pop-Tart, he jumps into like the toaster, and then he comes out and they eat it.
Yeah, there's 6 of them this year. It's a wacky change of
Game
pace.
is fun, man.
I am not prepared for the last 2 seasons of University of Miami football to have today in it the finality of, so everyone's going to be in agreement then that Miami has played its last game because the arguing is over and the propaganda and the Mario Cristobal interviews are largely over, and so the season is over?
No, Dan. We've just begun to fight. But with that being said, I want to drift off to the background. Mario Cristobal's got it from here. You remember when Colin Cowherd told LeBron, "We're good.
What did he say?
We're good. We don't. Thanks. We got Ben Simmons here." That's something that Colin Cowherd said. LeBron, I'm fine. That's how you can view me with this whole campaigning thing. Now Mario Cristobal is here. Now Dan Le Batard is here. Now Jeremy Taché is arguing against us, and it actually helps our case. It's a different week.
Mike, I have a legitimate question for you. Do you think, and take me seriously,
Head-to-head is always the number one criteria for anything.
He speaks for me.
that you deserve more credit if Miami makes the playoff than maybe their backup cornerback?
I heard him
We
push
needed those backup corners.
I heard him push Chuckle and Lou Riddick into a whole new dimension.
He didn't
I heard
answer my
that
question.
happen. But we all heard that happen the same way, did we not?
Head-to-head.
Did we all not hear Wischusen and Riddick had 20 minutes to fill, and they were going to fill it with propaganda?
I mean,
So Dan
I'll go with
clearly
the
believes
take.
the answer is yes.
I'll go with the take that they just reacted to the game they saw. Miami looked a lot better this week than they did last week. Chuckle and Lou Riddick have some pride.
Where's
okay?
the
They're
spot
not just
where-
they want us to talk good about Miami. We're going to
they
talk
were
good.
doing 5 minutes of pro-Miami talk that Miami would have liked to them. If Miami had scripted what those guys could say at the end of the game, that's what it would have sounded like.
But it wouldn't have made sense a week ago because they were up 10 late against
but Chris,
Virginia Tech.
what I'm saying to you is, when Mike yells at Chuckle saying, "Where was this last week? You guys weren't talking honestly on the air about Miami being wronged on a national broadcast." Correct me. You heard it, right, Zaz? You heard it?
No, I did not.
I heard it. I was listening.
Okay, because if I had wanted to write that and say, "Can you, Wischusen and Riddick, please do this on behalf of Miami?" That's how I would have written their conversation. So don't say they didn't change their tone. It totally changed.
But I'm giving the team and how they performed on Saturday credit for that change.
It's Mike's-
You can give it to Mike.
It's Mike's credit that he's due.
I think they're reacting to what they're seeing.
To answer your question, we lost O.J. Frederick and PFF's best college corner in the nation.
So
in
someone give
Keontae
me a
Scott.
position group where they were healthy.
And we got back Bryce Fitzgerald, a freshman, by the way.
Head-to-head.
Head-to-head matters. Bryce Fitzgerald
In
stepped up
everything.
admirably. The backup corners, Jeremy.
Who's the backup quarterback? You deserve more credit
I
than
think
him,
it's
right?
Malachi Toney now.
So you deserve more
Can I
credit.
talk about him just for one more second, okay? Because I don't have a lot of experience with a freshman arriving and then me saying, well, hold on a second. So the rules are going to make him a Heisman candidate for 3 years because everyone sees that he's a special talent?
Malaki.
Not special talent. I am saying, Zaz, and I don't think this is prisoner of the moment, I'm going to say unprecedented talent in the history of Miami, given Miami football, given the age and the range of he'll throw passes, he'll run reverses, he'll make the one-handed spectacular catch. We saw 2 of those in football yesterday, okay? Bowers and Puka both made catches yesterday, both of them. Bowers and Puka Nacua both made catches yesterday that are among the best you've ever seen in your life from an athlete.
It's the elusiveness for me. He just doesn't get tackled. It takes like 3 guys. He's a small guy.
He breaks tackles.
That's the part that stands out the most to me.
So to the eye test, this person is a legitimate star in a Heisman race that is crowded, and he's getting his name out there earlier. But I don't think I'm overreacting when I say a school that produces a great many playmakers has never had one that has this kind of range, and certainly not with this kind of youth.
I think he's the most instinctual football player on offense that we've had since Santana Moss. He doesn't do it with straight line speed, though he's going to get faster the more time he spends in college. His dad had track speed. He's going to improve his quickness somehow. He is especially quick. But when he gets into the open field, he doesn't have Santana's speed, but he's got his vision. He takes angles and makes guys look foolish. He's such a great football player, and it's not just him with the ball in his hands. The block that he had to spring Carson back on a run, he's just such a great football player.
I don't know whether you guys, it still means anything to you with the national broadcast being as fractured as they are, but to me it still means something when Lou Riddick is the one saying Malachi Toney is one of the best, one of the very best. It's not just a broadcaster saying this is among the best pass rushers at his position. Like, he knows what he's watching there, and it's going to be great in college football for the next 3 years if he does not get hurt. He plays... It's a special football player, and I'd like him to continue watching him play games.
Malaki.
But the thing that I don't want to go any more days without noting, because where all of the controversy resides around gambling and what's real and who's bought and what players are in on it and what referees are in on it, and I'm not going to think about the rigging of games, how felonious that is, and how many people would be in trouble if the games themselves didn't always keep their integrity. One of the great evolutions in sports in my lifetime, inventions of any kind, is the replay command center giving you a game day operation center where you can hear how the referees are talking about things.
Love that.
Oh, no, but the access is so unbelievable that I believe they've changed how it is that you can believe in sports, because even if they get it wrong, you're like, oh, I see how they came back at that decision. They've offered me full transparency on how they're discussing it. And so I'm good. I'm slightly less outraged than I would have been,
They're
because
stupid in plain sight now.
I want to know what it sounded like before they knew they were being recorded, you know? Because it's so professional now. Everyone good? Everyone have a good, like, before it was probably
They know they're being
I don't
watched.
know.
They know they're
I don't
being
give it,
watched.
like, you know, like, I imagine it was so chaotic, and now they're like, hey, we got to keep this clean.
I was in the concourse, and they were playing the pit broadcast during the sideline catch. It clearly wasn't a catch. In fact, everyone on the instant replay agreed, we don't really see the catch here, so call upheld, catch. The pit broadcasters were laughing at how bad that call was. I'm like, all right, first down, Pitt.
They reversed. The way they talked about it at the beginning was totally different of how they talk about it at the end. Like, they reversed course.
Did you see the call that they had was the result of the play is a touchdown. Miami pulled the player into the end zone. They lined up, and the pit broadcasters were like, "Wow, this is a weird place for Miami to go for two." And they had everyone. The score was reflected a touchdown. They said result of the play is a touchdown, and then they lined up for another play, and then Miami just scored another. But it was just bonkers. That's the same referee, by the way, from the SMU game.
Wait a minute. That was a PS that was...
No, it's necessary because Miami has 2 losses because one of them was handed to them by the officials. There were multiple missed calls, including the vaunted Lightfoot roughing the passer that came on a 4th down that essentially turned a win into a loss. Miami had a game stolen.
So did we!
Just like OU stole a game with the referee's help against Auburn. Context that should matter for whoever wants to cape up and fight this good fight. Again, I lay my sword down.
Luka Gilbert, tight end, has 2 catches for 37 yards. Do you deserve more credit for Miami making the playoff if they do than Luka Gilbert?
Luka Gilbert made one of the best catches I've ever seen at Green Tree. That guy's going to be a player.
What about Luke Nickel, backup quarterback?
Scout team stuff. That's important.
Can I ask how everybody here felt about the way that they started the broadcast of UM and Pitt with the quote from Mario Cristobal as he prowled up and down the sidelines, possibly not making the playoffs again? There is no such thing as bad weather, just soft people.
I like it.
I mean, that's an asinine thing to say.
No.
I saw so much bad weather last weekend, and it's not because I'm soft, though I am.
No, if you can't handle the weather, you're soft.
You're going to say this? You couldn't handle the weather this weekend. Do we have photographic proof of Zaslow and how he doesn't know how to dress like an adult?
On.
It's not merely that Mike Ryan accuses him credibly of not being an insider, even though Zaslow wins that argument. Zaslow did not have, Chris, did you see any of this? Zaslow continues to not be able to dress like an adult.
I mean, this actually looks better than last week.
Well, no,
someone gave you that jacket.
Dan, okay, so that jacket does not fit me. That's as far as it goes. I'm wearing a small right there. Amber's is actually bigger than me. We both needed those jackets. Luckily, we had them on hand. I was freezing.
Okay.
I was not dressed appropriately.
All right.
Your hands look so cold.
I don't understand. Can any of you in the room please walk me through what seems to be real toddler behavior? Again, I will say, Zaslow is not in his first year with this traveling outfit. He knows that college football cities and campuses and places off lakes get cold. He's got a year of experience.
How am I supposed to know there's a lake?
Zaslow. You went to Madison, Wisconsin in late November, and I could have told you at any time in my lifetime that's dangerously cold, but especially off a lake, you're going to get wind blowing that feels really unpleasant. It's going to feel colder than 40, even if it's 40. You dressed poorly last week. This week, and I was surprised this happened with Lucy. It makes me wonder if she's got an ice in her bones from Iowa that I don't understand. She said Zaslow would be fine in Norman, Oklahoma this time of year, and I'm thinking to myself as a South Floridian, no, that's been a hellscape my entire lifetime during winter. Like, I would absolutely not want, with the clothes that I have, to ever go to Norman, Oklahoma for any reason when the wind starts blowing.
I told you last week in Madison I was going to be fine because I control my own blood. Now, this week in Norman, I will admit, Dan, I was annoyed and embarrassed with myself. I can admit when I'm embarrassed. Not everybody can admit that. I can admit when I'm embarrassed. And it was so cold this weekend in Norman that I was embarrassed with myself that why can't I get on the same page with weather? Like, what is my problem that I can't pack warm enough?
Great question.
That I'm not on the same page with weather.
At least you weren't shamed a week ago about it.
Again, he had a year to learn this. It's a strange thing.
How do you not go to Burlington?
He had a year
week?
and a week where this burned him last week, but he didn't want to learn. He did, at no point during the week is like, you know what, let me open up the app.
You want me to bring you a jacket?
Amber literally told me the day before there is a cold front coming into Norman Saturday afternoon. And what did I do about it, Dan? Nothing.
It's breathtaking in its stupidity.
He's a hoe.
What? That's unnecessary. Why did you
Jonathan
do that?
Zaslow?
Oh, are we using ho this much because it's Christmas season? Ho, ho, ho?
Yes,
I see why he got punched in
that's
the
all
nuts.
that we're celebrating in the ho and holidays. It's always the first word in holidays. Can you please, though, give to the audience any semblance of understanding? As to, like, I don't think there are a lot of worse feelings than feeling cold. I live where I live because the feeling of cold to me is something that
windy cold specifically.
Well, so look, I must be one of these soft people Mario Cristobal speaks
For
of.
sure you are.
But there
if
is.
you're asking that question, I can confirm.
There is
Mario
bad
thinks
weather.
Dan is
I will
soft.
not be told there's not bad weather. I don't care what kind of meathead he is. Don't tell me there's not bad weather in Norman, Oklahoma. There's bad weather there all the time.
I don't think he's using the cold weather thing as a criteria to determine whether or not you are soft.
All I had there in Norman, all I had brought with me, I had a zip-up jacket, and underneath it I was wearing a Miami Heat shirt. That's what I had. That's all I had.
I think he was looking at your full resume, body of work.
That's fine. He can say that if he wants. There's still bad weather, and if he has any kind of objection, we can take it inside. Because it's where I prefer. Because there's a log cabin or some warmth, some heaters that I need. If Mario Cristobal has any sort of objection to what I'm saying, that there is indeed bad weather, I disagree with him. And there are also soft people, and I may be among them. But that's not an either or. Show some nuance, caveman. Or we can take it inside. I'll take it inside if you want to take it inside.
Jordan Lyle, 3 carries for 22 yards this season. Mike Ryan, did you deserve more credit for Miami's success if they make the playoff?
He got hurt early, didn't do much with his opportunities. You could argue he prevented Miami from seeing what they had in Pringle.
Okay.
But his fall camp was too good. Iron sharpens iron.
So, do you think you've seen your last football game of the season of consequence? You believe, with stakes on it, you believe that this
I would like to win a bowl game. I would like to do that because there's like all those like memes.
Have you resigned yourself to, I'm not going to argue my way in, I'm going to lose, Miami's going to get shut out. Miami's a betting favorite to be shut out of these playoffs. You'd get 8-1 odds right now on Miami getting into the playoffs no matter what happens from here.
What's happening with Miami is the most obvious thing in the world. This is obviously wrong. Head-to-head should matter. There is a team that is bunched up closely with Miami. They have the same record as Miami. Miami beat them. Also, Miami is a common opponent argument over anybody they are also grouped with.
Not JMU?
You have to look at this matter-of-factly.
No.
Are you okay with this? And a lot of people are okay with it, but I'm really hoping logic and reason really ascend here over the next week of dialogue. I don't have to fight that much. I feel like I have one of the best teams in the nation playing its very best football right now. At 4-0 after that embarrassing defeat handed down by the officials in that SMU game, I like Miami's hand here. I think it's the most obvious thing in the world. They're a playoff team, and I think other people need to get with the program.
No.
I think the Canes are going to jump to 11 tomorrow night, which, of course, is not good enough. I think they're going to jump to 11. So is there anything that can happen between tomorrow night and Sunday when the final rankings come out that could help the Canes get to 10?
If Miami does indeed go to 11 like you're saying, then you look at number 10. You have Miami, then Alabama ahead of them, then Notre Dame. Does the committee guard against Alabama losing in the SEC title game again by moving them ahead of Notre Dame? Because if that's what happens, you have Notre Dame and Miami grouped right
Okay, so that's
head to head once again.
So that's what we want then, is for Alabama to win
you
the
want
SEC
the
championship.
You want the optics of Miami right there with Notre Dame and the committee and Juracek telling you, we think Notre Dame, even though they have the same exact record and got fat on bad teams. By the way, you want to talk common opponents? Miami beat 3 of the 4 common opponents worse than Notre Dame did. You have all those arguments working in your way. I got to feel in my heart of hearts, you can't do that. If the team below beat the team directly ahead of them, you can't hold out that team. You can't.
Does the ACC commissioner, and I say this half jokingly but half serious, does the ACC commissioner have the ability just to say, you know what? Duke's not in the championship game. Miami is. They deserve to, I don't care about what tiebreakers. We've said in the past, I'm the commissioner of this conference, and Miami deserve, I'm half kidding, but that would clear this all up. Then they would have an ACC championship game to play in.
You're pathetic.
No, I'm not. It just makes sense. Even Duke fans have to be like, we don't deserve to be in this.
You feel
game.
good about these words coming out of your mouth?
I'm being half serious, half joking.
No, if you're half serious, that means half of you is serious. Except that if you say you're half serious, half of you is serious.
If the ACC,
you're saying never mind about playing the schedule. Never mind. I'm the commissioner. I rule as Lord.
Go to the championship
never
game?
mind these stupid tiebreakers that we thought made sense, but they clearly don't because Duke is in the game.
I am with Mike. I'm with Mike Ryan and Chris Cody in making the following argument unemotionally and without bias.
Who would argue with that?
I believe the commissioner should indeed have the power to choose what we think is right. I think that the commissioner of the ACC should give this show the power of, look, guy, we know Manny Diaz would tell you this is not how it should be. Mario's got the better players. Nice win, Duke. Congratulations.
Who would push back on it?
Against Wake Forest.
If it came out this morning, ACC commissioner says it's Virginia versus Miami. We don't care about the tiebreakers we said years ago.
Push back.
Both Duke and Virginia.
All right, Virginia, actually. You know what? Virginia. I even think Duke would be cool with
You think Duke's like,
I think Duke would be like,
we
we don't deserve to be in this game. This is stupid.
Do you wish you said different words?
No. Like I said, half kidding, half serious.
They earned their way.
If half of you is serious, then half of you is serious.
They earned their way. They haven't beaten anybody in the ACC.
Neither is Miami.
Hold on, let me think about that.
No, but Notre Dame is a signature win. It's supposed to be a signature win.
Not the ACC.
No,
that's right.
Miami beat Virginia. Miami beat Georgia Tech, which was they were a better team.
No,
Miami did not play Georgia
They
Tech.
did not play.
Shit.
Miami beat the team that beat Georgia
Like
Tech.
I said,
back to this.
Half kidding.
Miami beat the team that beat Virginia, even though that was a ACC game between 2 ACC teams that did not count for the ACC.
Do the right thing, ACC commissioner.
I do think that there is actually
Thank you.
precedent for this. I think the Big Ten has done this in the past, but there's a flaw in what you're saying, and that's like Jim Phillips finding a spine. That's not. This is exactly what he deserves because he is spineless.
Our show whimpering that the commissioner has no spine because he won't change.
Nobody would agree that Duke deserves to be in that game.
Look, I hear you. In a vacuum, that sounds bad, but I've been calling Jim Phillips spineless for several years.
Okay, that makes
Jeremy,
it okay.
you don't agree that Duke should be in the game of Miami.
You know what? That does make it okay. Mike's right.
Based off of like a 7th layer tiebreaker.
The rules that have been there forever.
I've called him a cuck numerous years.
Is he a cuck?
I feel like
you've
Roy.
reported that publicly. I don't think that's something you've said.
I have never said that on the air, and I won't.
What's his name, Mike? What's that guy's name?
No.
Jim Phillips.
Hey, Jim Phillips, look at me. Do the right thing. You know Duke doesn't deserve to be in that game. Even Manny Diaz would agree with you.
Can I tell you what's funny? If you go to the ACC standings on ESPN.com, Duke is still 6th in the ACC.
Exactly.
I don't know how they win.
Stupid. Half serious.
I don't know how they win a tiebreaker.
How are they 6th?
I don't know how they win it.
You feel good about those words?
I looked this up. It's the combined in-conference record of the teams that they beat in the conference.
But why don't
That's
they
an
have
acronym
them,
for dumb.
Why don't they have them 2nd then? They're 6th.
That's a website.
So dumb.
Maybe
do the right
games.
Thing. Do the right thing.
Are you more than half?
I think
serious?
everyone agrees.
Are
with
you
me.
more than half serious?
I'm like 55% serious.
It is proof positive that conferences are too big, and it leads me to my solution for all of this, which is if we're going to go these huge conferences, you eliminate one of the regular season games and you install a semifinal and a final to ensure that you do actually have the best teams and you mitigate what can happen in the conference
That's
right now.
a good idea.
Let's just keep changing the rules.
No. This was
just so we can get Miami
to get
there.
the best team
Jeremy,
there.
Jeremy, I hear you.
You don't agree that Duke should be there.
We're arguing about the 12th best team in the country.
Please. I'm trying to make a point that I've made for years. I've called Jim Phillips spineless for years, and I've also said, I never said that publicly, and I never will.
No.
And I've also said for years, if we're going to expand to conferences this large, they need to hold off one block of the regular season, make that a semifinal, and you match up everyone else in the standings that it's reflective of where they are presently, and you sort that out on the field because Mario Cristobal told you earlier.
Head to head.
You can't be out here calling someone a cuck. You can't.
I didn't.
You can't do that.
Stop saying that I did that. I never did.
Head to head
And I
is
won't.
always.
You
Head to head is always.
You can't also, Chris, be out here with I'm 50% serious.
55.
I'm half serious. You're a little more than 55% serious, aren't you?
I think he should do the right thing. This is not my decision
Change all
to
the
make.
rules. Okay, I'm
No,
glad.
just do what makes
That's
sense.
right. You're right.
Nobody across the country. Like I know
glad-
Jeremy's doing a thing right now.
I
Nobody.
am not doing a thing. I'm doing the right
He
thing.
doesn't think Duke deserves to be in that game.
I'm not with him, by the way.
The two best ACC teams should be in the ACC championship.
I'm not with
game.
him. Like you could see this coming like a freight train. The problem is the lack of foresight.
I'm glad we settled this. I'm glad we're all in agreement. That
They're the only team that didn't beat all
they
the good
should
teams.
rewrite all the rules so that this show gets what it wants. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not about me right now. This is about doing the right thing and the teams that deserve to be there.
Put JMU in.
I've never seen Roy this way.
Hurt dog.
Roy, settle down.
No.
Amin Al-Hassan will be here shortly to give us his weekend observations. There are some more football things I wanted to get to. Tony's not here today, so let's just recreate his top five. I'll do his top five because Tony, I don't know what happened. He had some sort of emergency. So I've got top five football observations, mine on behalf of Tony. OLI number one, Max Brosmer is the first quarterback that's ever played that Tony will not fall in love with. That play where he just flung the ball and
I want to go play
a pick six. I'm going to say that was the worst feeling of the weekend for any football player if it had not been for another OLI. Matthew Stafford hydroplaning 5 yards backwards on a pick six as the final block makes him go from the 5-yard line on his back to the goal line is the worst he's felt in 10 weeks. Hydroplaning on his back, a pick six and 2 interceptions in the first quarter, a fumble at the end of the game. He's been clean for 10 straight weeks.
Why'd Brosmer throw that?
One of the worst plays in NFL history.
We're still in OLI. Oh, really? Eagles fans are booing. Is that right? Is that right? Still in OLI. The Cowboys, huh? Also, O-line. Guys doing first down, it's done. It's over. Be done with the first down signal.
No, but you got to let the crowd know.
No, it's over. It's all too
How
many.
will they know?
Too many of you are doing it. It's too many of you.
You know, you can't see the yellow line when you're there in person.
Keelan Marion for Miami did a first down signal when he was 2.5 yards short.
Number 5.
I believe Tua slid and thought he got a first down and then stood up and realized they marked him like
Tua
3
got
yards
something
back.
wrong?
Get them all out of here. Oh, my God. Tua OLI as well, INT, 14 interceptions. Worst in the league.
Was that a punt? I have to check with McDaniel on that.
Oh, tell me about that arm punt.
It was on first down.
Zaslow thinks Zaslow's just proclaiming him terrible, bad, just bad.
Proclaim? Is anyone else watching the game besides me?
Even Greg Cody's turned on.
He is a broken, awful football player.
I don't know if anybody watched that game outside of you.
I was mad that I had to watch.
I turned the sound off at one point. I had the 4 screen going. I had the sound on, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Number 5. You want to guess how many times Geno Smith has been sacked the last 2 games?
600.
15! 15! They're terrible.
Tom Brady, bad owner.
Did you see the reports about Chip Kelly? About how he was calling for personnel groupings that were non-existent, how he was calling plays that weren't in the game plan.
No way.
I mean, it looked like that, didn't it? That's why he got fired, that he was calling plays that weren't installed in the game plan.
But, like, he wants the personnel that allows 13 guys on the field?
He was calling for personnel groupings that just weren't installed. Like
that can happen, though. In Madden, sometimes you'll, like, be playing with a team and you're expecting a play, but that's not what they don't have that play in the offense, so you have to call a different play.
Number 4, Sky Moore has the coolest name in the sport. Sky with 2 Ys. Number 3, I really loved watching Trent Williams against Myles Garrett. Seeing Myles Garrett struggle, that was something to behold.
You seen Myles Garrett's arms?
Yeah, they're big.
Like a lot bigger than mine, man.
Yes, his arms are bigger than yours.
But like a lot.
That's astute.
Number 2, check out the Colts schedule the rest of the way. And number 1, oh, the Chiefs are done, huh? The whole Chiefs thing is done?
I got the Texans this week.
Oh, it's done. The
Must
Chiefs,
win?
Well, the Chiefs thing is done now, though, right? After, I guess that's a little unceremonious, right? Because we keep thinking they'll come back, they'll always come back, but this year they're bad in 1-score games.
I did a deep dive. You know, Dolphins still in the hunt. So I did a deep dive on every, team kind of in the hunt and their remaining schedule. And I think the number to get to, 10-7, should get you in the playoffs. So the Chiefs
the Bengals are in the mix at 4-8.
Chiefs are at 6 losses. So technically, I think they have one more game they can lose. But I think, Dan, it's going to be tough for the Chiefs.
So it's based on the AFC being bad, and yet still, if you get to the playoffs and the Chiefs have to go on the road against the Colts with a broken fibula of Daniel Jones, or the Patriots with 2 broken tackles.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs.
We're going to keep doing that? We're going to do all season that the AFC is so broken that none of these teams can actually kill the Chiefs because you're not even going to believe in the Bills. You won't even believe in you can't believe in the Ravens, right? I didn't even get to the Ravens. I didn't even say the Ravens here. Lamar Jackson does not look like Lamar Jackson. What happened? Somebody explain that to me. He's the MVP of the league. What? Is he hurt? Why is he not running? He's not running.
I think it's the same fear that everyone has with quarterbacks that are just so astronomically talented physically, is over the course of a career, those hits start adding up. And Lamar Jackson has had his injuries. When you have just the slightest dilution to that athleticism that made you so much more athletic than everybody else, then the difference between you and everybody else gets closed real quick.
Doesn't it stand to reason, if we're talking about how good sports in general have gotten at measuring the value of people, measuring the value of how good and important is this athlete? If I tell you in that sport the economics of it make it so that the running back is disposable, even if you have someone as good as Kenneth Walker, the running back is disposable. Financially, you're telling me it's so. You're telling me we're going to burn through Achan's body so that when it's time to pay him, you don't pay him. You're just going to burn those years of his body, and it's going to happen faster than you've ever seen because of how violent and big and giant all of these people are. When Mike speaks to the lost a step, I every Sunday marvel at the fact that these giant people can't tackle Josh Allen. That he's too big and strong, and his body's not going to break down. He's available all the time. Herbert's available all the time. He's also physically very big, but Herbert is breaking body part at a time because he gets hit way too much. Way too much. Are we willing to say, in that position, the organization of the Ravens has been great for a long time, just organizationally over different eras of football. And one of the ways they game the system over the last few years is their running back has been their quarterback, and then they add Derrick Henry. You think the miles are going to end up costing Derrick Henry at some point, but the economics of the position and the physicality of the position, has it chewed up Lamar Jackson from inside the Ravens' architecture?
I think it's a fair question to ask. When you look at the nature of his turnovers there, some of that was pretty embarrassing, and it didn't look like the Lamar that we know. He is used to being able to escape that sack at the last second and underhand something. And the drop in athleticism could be as small as usually you hold on to that ball and it doesn't slip out of your hands. Maybe you're thinking a little bit more about what you have to do physically to escape that. He was his
crazy.
own.
It's crazy.
He was his own play action before.
It's crazy to consider that a lost step of athleticism would already be here for Lamar Jackson, right?
Makes sense.
It does and it doesn't, though, right? Because he's still a young man.
Yeah, but he plays a style of football that ages you, I think, prematurely, which is everyone's concern when you get one of the mobile quarterbacks that enter the league. Sometimes it looks like that. You have a quarterback that plays a little bit more traditional from the pocket, but also had athleticism aid him. Look what happened to Aaron Rodgers. The tail off in Aaron Rodgers' play is about 5 years going right now, and you could see a dip in his performance once his escapability, which was always super underrated, started diminishing. And now he's a guy who's rightfully scared of any contact, and he's throwing balls in the dirt to avoid it, and he's literally curling up in plays that...
He's curling up to avoid the play that got them beat at the very beginning of yesterday, where he doesn't have the physical sense in the pocket anymore to know that someone is chasing him from behind.
It's just aging.
That a Bosa is chasing him from behind.
It's just aging, and guys who are so reliant on their athleticism tend to age a little quicker.
Do we point out that before Thursday night, the Ravens had won 5 in a row?
Yeah, but they had the part of the schedule that was supposed to be easy because it was Browns and Jets and Bengals.
And he wasn't overly impressive.
Look at the Colts' next 5 games. You do not want that schedule. The Colts are headed for a buzzsaw and their coach and their quarterback has a fractured leg. And Dominique Foxworth was saying before this last game,
it's bad.
He was saying,
you guys want to play a little WL?
The Colts have a quarterback problem. We're not going to do WL.
It's only 5 games.
You said
Dan.
look at the next 5 games.
It's only 5 games.
I'm just telling people.
How can I look at it and not play that?
The reason I'm doing that is only because I can't remember. It's twice against Jacksonville. It's once against Seattle.
Oh, you're asking me to actually.
I believe
at Jacksonville. What do we think?
I believe I had them going 10-7. They were one of my 10-7ers.
So at Jacksonville.
That's a win.
Ooh, Spiro better be on that call.
Then,
just so I can hear him go, the Jigs.
At Seattle. That's a tough one. We know what they just did against Brosmer. Then they host on Monday Night Football the San Francisco 49ers. What do we think happens?
They play the Jags twice, so they have if that's an easy game, those are their 2 easy games.
Home against the Jags.
The Jags.
And then final week of the season, they're at Houston.
For a playoff spot?
Unless they lose to the Jags twice.
CJ Stroud, look good.
There are plenty of people who saw what happened yesterday and said the Texans are the team no one wants to see in the AFC playoffs because they can beat you with defense, they can beat you with pass rush.
I hear you. I'm going to go with the team that's made 9 straight conference championships.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
I don't want to see the greatest quarterback of all time if I'm in the playoffs.
Well, this week you get Texans Chiefs, and the loser of that, I would say. Well, I guess the Texans could lose that and still make it, but
Derek Stingley's been unbelievable for Houston. Like
He's
just
solid.
eliminates the side of the field for them.
Solid
it's incredible.
player.
I think the Bengals are going to win the AFC North.
They're 4-8.
But you see their schedule too?
Yep.
let me see. Let's do this.
They could win the rest of their games.
I love this.
It's Joe Burrow, 4-8, chasing down Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson, who are limping.
And they play the Ravens twice.
Put up the Bengals schedule.
All right. At Buffalo. At Buffalo this weekend. How do we feel about that one?
They could.
They could win, but we would make that a loss, though?
Fine.
Just in case?
But I wouldn't, though, given that with Joe Burrow, that team has gone into Buffalo has beaten Buffalo.
Oh, Mike.
All right, so at Buffalo.
Yep.
Then they host the Ravens.
Win.
They host
and
the
pick
Ravens.
up a game on them.
Okay. Then they're at the
and
Dolphins.
that would give them the season series sweep over the
Dolphins
Ravens.
will be in the hunt. Do we think they'll be able to beat the Dolphins
win.
in Miami?
Yep, win.
Okay.
Video, can you just keep stacking schedules on top of each other?
I thought you'd never ask,
Just
Dan.
keep the rest of this segment, just continue to just stack
else do we need to see,
schedules
Jeremy?
on top of each
Dolphins
other.
offense can't keep up with Bengals.
They're all right,
off
so
the
then they're going to
Dolphins
host the
schedule.
Arizona Cardinals. I mean,
Win.
that's an obvious W. And then
Win.
at the end of the year, they'll host Cleveland.
Win.
I have not mentioned enough, okay? Just let me walk through the audio. I'd like to walk the audio audience through something that is largely visual. But I saw 2 catches yesterday that I can argue are among the best ever made in professional football. I can assemble the argument on that Bowers touchdown and on that Puka Nacua. You only have
the
to.
Puka catch was
He
sick.
only has to get one hand open now. It's not
The
even both of
defender's
them.
hand
It's-
pinched the ball.
You didn't even see the Traylon Burks one, where he has a finger that is literally taped together.
The way that Puka caught that ball is, I am going to try and describe this, while pushing off a defender. I think that was Mike Jackson. While pushing off a defender with his dominant hand, but his dominant hand turned away from his face. He is catching a football with his right wrist. A football thrown 35 yards, I'm going to
This is
say.
the good stuff. This is the good stuff.
35 yards. I would love to just talk over this and describe both of the catches, because I once saw Mark Bavaro catch a ball with one bare hand. It was close to the ground, and he just snatched it. And then that's when I realized these people have limbs and stuff that are much bigger than ours.
That's a tight end right there.
But you saw the Bowers catch, correct? Well,
Yes.
Bowers is a tight end. Now, good luck explaining to your parents, or your kids, rather, that Bowers was a dominant tight end, as dominant as you've ever seen, even with bad offenses and a quarterback being sacked 15 times in 2 games. And he looked like that head of hair. Like, he is totally undermining what athleticism is supposed to look like by having that particular head of hair.
So the Cowboys are at the Lions on Thursday Night Football this week.
That's a losers out game.
That's a make or break game.
Losers out game, then the Texans.
Big game or not a big
Chiefs,
game there,
loser,
Zach?
loser out
Is
game.
Texans Chiefs a big game or not? Because you just said that's a team either. That's a game that either's
It's
out.
a losers out game.
And then you said the Texans might be able to survive.
Yeah, they
Texans?
could probably survive.
Chiefs. Texans have 7 wins. Chiefs have 6. Both these teams will miss the playoffs. Not a big game.
Whoa!
Can't be a big game
What?
if both teams are not going to make the playoffs. Why would that be a big game?
What?
Why would a game
Because
be
the
big
Chiefs only play big games.
with 2 teams that are not in the playoffs?
The Chiefs. I'm not going to argue with this sound, but the Chiefs always play big games. You're going to tell me that a game that would properly extinguish them when we're sitting here arguing, are they really out? And would they be a favorite against
out.
all the other AFC teams? Like,
They're
that's
They're 1 game better than the Dolphins, Dan.
why are we talking with such stupidity?
I thought you were just going to stop it at why are we talking?
Are we playing big game or not a big game, or are we not?
You just said it's not a big game, and
Yeah.
the Chiefs being eliminated, that's not something that can be quiet, right? It's not something that can happen quietly.
They're 10th right now. It feels like they were eliminated yesterday
Or Thursday.
Thursday. They're 10th. They're closer to last place than they are first place.
But they do have 2 games of their 5 remaining at Tennessee and at Las Vegas. Automatic
All right,
W's.
so let's split those.
They'll split those.
Yeah.
Cowboys Lions? Thursday?
Amin Al-Hassan is going to join us for his weekend observations in moments. I want to remind the audience, or I guess this year telling you for the first time, we have learned on how it is to do our toy drives over the years, and we have now partnered here with Branches and Amazon's wish list that Branches has, so that before December 15th, all of you can support our annual toy drive without actually having to come to where it is that we are. You could just go to LeBatardAF.com and know that if you're donating dolls, remote control cars, Nerf toys, board games, craft kits, perfumes and colognes, building toys, Legos, educational toys, action figures, gift cards.
Zaslow, the game of Clue. Big game? Not a big game.
Oh, what a game. Clue? Colonel Mustard? In the kitchen with the wrench? That's a big game.
Monopoly, big game, not a big game.
Oh,
That one feels
Monopoly.
Come on now.
Come on now. What kind of is that? Jeremy? Did Jeremy do that?
$200, Pasco.
Wait. Is Monopoly a big game? It's one of the all-timers.
Some people don't like Monopoly.
But it's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Roll doubles 3 times, get out of jail free.
You're saying that if Monopoly's not a big game, then what the hell's a big game, Jeremy? You realize
Clue, apparently.
No, bigger game.
You know about that free parking?
But put it on the poll at LeBatard Show. Bigger game, Clue or Monopoly?
Operation, big game, not a big game.
Don't try and cover your tracks.
Operation game is so unrealistic.
Do you guys buy Mediterranean Ave if you land on it? Like the purple, the sad first first one.
I'll
it's
build
like
some
$12.
You do that?
No, I pass on that.
I'm just so locked in on Boardwalk
Thank
and
you.
Park
Like, I'm
Place.
going-
Like I can't see anything else.
Maybe
These
even give me
guys
the
don't know how to get a
green,
Monopoly.
like Atlantic Avenue, I believe, the green one. I like the green. Big
Leave
fan
this
of
one to
that.
me.
The thing is, do you allow trading when you play?
Oh yeah, late in the game.
Come on, of course.
The only rule is there are no rules at the end.
LeBatardAF.com. We're teaming with Branches. They do good work. We vetted them. And so the toy drive will be a bigger thing this year. And it's been pretty big in the past because we're not asking you to actually go anywhere to give us physically toys. You just have to go to LeBatardAF.com. And there are an assortment of kids here who will get nice holiday things if it's easy for you. LeBatardAF.com. Zaslow, you were cold all weekend, and then you get on a flight. And did you watch a movie that would make Amin proud of you?
I think so. I watched a movie on my way to Norman, Oklahoma this weekend. I watched, for the very first time, a James Bond movie.
Okay, we'll get to that with Amin in a second, but he just dropped out even though he was waiting the entire time. So we'll be
I'm
with
seeing him
in
back
a
in, so he
second.
should be here in a second.
So do you have a report for us on and a report for Amin? Which movie did you see of James Bond's?
Now, I admitted, I know I will like the James Bond movies. It's not like I'm like, oh, I don't want to watch James Bond. I do want to watch the James Bond movies. I just hadn't. I'd never seen a single James Bond movie.
So which one did you see?
Well, I'm watching the Daniel Craig ones. So I saw Casino Royale.
The first 10 minutes of that are very good.
Yeah, I thought the whole movie was very good. I enjoyed it.
The first 10 minutes of it were very good.
Yeah, he kills that guy right away.
Yeah, but James Bond, is Daniel Craig, where would you rank Daniel Craig? Is he all-time Bonds? Is he second? Is he third?
Ooh, as far as James Bonds go, so Sean Connery obviously is number one.
That's obvious?
That's the consensus. That's what everyone says. Like when people think James Bond, they think Sean Connery. Then it turns into,
will it hold up? I mean, like if I watch the Sean Connery ones now, will it hold up?
I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. It's an old movie. I am playing both sides. And then now, some people like Pierce Brosnan. Some people like Roger Moore as the second best right there. I think, man, Daniel Craig might be in the conversation for second best with Roger Moore and
But if
Pierce Brosnan.
but if someone is saying to you they've watched a Bond movie, you said that your opinion should be disqualified as a movie critic if you have never seen a Bond movie. He's now seen one Bond movie with possibly the fourth best or fifth best Bond. Does that qualify him now to have more opinions about movies that you respect?
Well, yeah. So when people say, "Hey, I've never seen James Bond. What should I watch?" I tell them to start with the Daniel Craig ones because they feel like modern movies.
Yeah.
I think people can keep up with them. Now, if he watches all the Daniel Craig movies,
I'm going to.
Maybe then we could start to kind of like have conversations. But right now, watching one Bond movie, get out of here.
No, I will not get out of here because I'm going to
Get outta
watch
here.
all. No, I will not get out of here because I'm going to watch all the Daniel Craig James Bond movies.
Yeah, you're gonna get out of here and go watch the rest of them, and then you can come back and talk.
Where
to me.
does Casino Royale hold up with the Daniel Craig Bond movies? Is it one of the better ones?
I would say it's one of the better ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I like them. They have a quality. Here's the thing about the Daniel Craig James Bond movies. They have a very Mission Impossible quality of life.
I totally felt like I was watching Mission Impossible.
Yeah, it's like I enjoy watching this. I don't remember a whole lot. Right? It's like, oh yeah, it was good. Like, what's it about? I don't know. It's a casino.
That's a great point.
It's
The Mission
Royale.
Impossible movies, Dan, the only thing I remember from Mission Impossible is Henry Cavill doing the thing with his wrists. That's right.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Bathroom.
Yeah, in the bathroom.
But the first 10 minutes of Casino Royale are exceptional. Like they might be the best 10 minutes of Bond that Daniel Craig did.
That's the one in Mexico, right? Starts in Mexico City.
It's all the parkour that they're doing through the construction site. The lunacy of that chase.
I don't remember. I'm still trying to remember if this is the one where it starts with the parade in Mexico. The funny thing about that, Dan, is that parade did not exist prior to that movie in Mexico, like in real life. But then the Dia de la Muerte, and like actually life imitated art.
So I'm worried about your internet, and I'm worried about doing weekend observations this way, but we're going to power through it at the beginning, and if you have one failure, we're going to get rid of you, and it'll still be better than last week was.
Is Casino Royale the one where he also emerges from the waves in that powder blue Speedo looking hot?
No. Is it? Is it? Mm-hmm. I thought it was the second one.
My boy was packing.
They all come the same.
No, I believe you
talking about his dick.
I'm going to go ahead and question Amin's knowledge, given that he doesn't have basic facts about Casino Royale. He's merging his Daniel Craig movies and can't remember what's what.
Dan, I'm going to tell you something else about Amin that I learned over the weekend. I learned something about you, Amin, and I'm going to tell everybody about it right now. You
What's that?
Amin, big time.
My internet sucks.
Big time TV fraud. Big TV fraud.
How?
You've never seen Stranger Things? Get the hell out of here.
Nah, man. I'm not watching that, man. I ain't watching. What am I watching? A show about kids.
You fool.
Oh, the little kids. Oh.
Yeah, I feel good about this. I think we should do it.
All right. I mean, let's just stop. Let's start weekend observations. I didn't think you could do worse than last week, but I salute you for doing somehow worse than last week. Yes, Daniel Craig was packing. Yeah, very
put together.
Yes, yeah, very hot, unquestionably hot.
I actually saw that picture. I'm like, let me see if I could buy one of these Speedos. And then I was like, nah, I won't look at it.
Really?
That good.
You thought you'd look like that?
It made you want to see, what does this cost?
Everyone wants to see what they'd look like in that. I'm with
no, that's not true in any way.
You just take it for a walk.
You
take it for a walk. Maybe you walk out, show your wife, be like, yay, nay.
I was also part curious because I'm pretty sure this Speedo costs like $3,000.
Chris, you want to see what you look like?
Like I said,
I'd like to see
like
that.
I said, take it for a walk.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to watch you walk.
I would not want you taking a walk.
The love handles.
No.
New bucket punishment, folks.
Bucket punishment is emerging from the waves in that
Guys,
Speedo.
I said take it for a walk.
Yes, no, we're going to do it. At
the walk out of the waves.
Out of the beach. It'll be either
this
you
one
or
I was
me.
more half kidding.
You or me or what? Yes. Amin, are you ready to do your weekend observations?
Well, we're doing it.
With bad internet. Let's do it.
It is time for him to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy.
Weekend Observations is presented by Miller Lite. All right, we got that part in. All right, we're good. All right, cool. Dan, Georgia Tech had the dream season, led by a Heisman-worthy quarterback, with hopes of a college football playoff berth on the horizon, but with back-to-back losses, including one where I lost.
Unbelievable.
Now you're cooking. Keep cooking.
We didn't hear any of your punchline. We didn't hear anything you said.
Amin not giving a sink. Awesome. Tremendous. L. Duncan making a bet to potentially wear Georgia Tech gear on SportsCenter, then leaving ESPN the next day. Heady play. Can't be mad at that. The Colts, losers of 3 of their last 4. Still have the Seahawks, Niners, and Jags twice left on their schedule. You hear that sound, Dano?
I can't hear anything you're saying because you're garbled half the time.
No, we got you. Keep going.
That's the sound of a clock striking midnight. Pumpkin time. The Finns keep hope alive. I told you, Greg. Stay strong.
Stay strong, Greg Cody.
Where is he? Where is Greg Cody?
He'll be here tomorrow and Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
For about a half of football, I thought the Raiders were actually going to beat the Chargers.
All right.
That's enough. That's enough. All right, get out of here.
That again.
Just get out of here. Going out like a sucker.
You got to do better next week, okay? You have to do better
We're on
next
a heater.
week. I mean, you have to do better next week. I mean,
what do I do? I wrote it. Good. The jokes are good. What am I supposed to do?
All right, keep cooking.
I'm supposed to go
We're
out
back.
on top of the roof and like have them hook up wires and
all
shit?
right.
Like I'm responsible?
All right.
Okay, we're good. All right, here we go. We fought through it.
You got one more chance at this, and then you're doing the rest of this on social media only.
For about a half of football, I thought the Raiders were
Get out of here.
going to beat
You're not peeking at the right time, pal.
Do the rest of it on social media. Do it.
Progress.
Finish it without our help. Get out of here. You're not ruining any more.
Weekend observations are presented by Miller Lite.
I'm sorry.
Don't look now, but
What a disgrace.
hey, I'm going to quit my job and go work for
All right, back to your show.
You know how hard it is to be worse than he was last week? I didn't think it was possible.
Head to head is
I didn't think it was possible to be worse than he was last week, and yet somehow better, because what's funnier than his first entire punchline being garbled
It was
up
perfect timing for him to get cut off, honestly, from the internet.
by the internet. Oh my God.
head to head.
All right, enough of Mario Cristobal. We've talked enough college football. I wouldn't mind if Amin Broken Voice continued to make appearances over the next 7 minutes as he just sits there. Put him in the picture-in-picture and just make him suffer there without being able to do anything other than sit there.
The frozen picture right now.
I want to know how many times I have to shout for as much as we analyze football.
Sorry.
For as much as we analyze football around here year-round, and especially this time of year. The Eagles fundamentally falling apart every time Lane Johnson is hurt is crazy. Like, in terms of Jason Kelsey's the one who got all the fame for being the offensive lineman on that line, and yet when Lane Johnson is hurt, that team loses. And whether A.J. Brown gets his 100 yards or not, they kind of need Lane Johnson to be out there mauling people, and I don't I know we know that Lane Johnson and Trent Williams are the most special of the physical beasts that there are at the tackle position.
Don't forget about Paul.
In that sport.
What about Paul?
Paul is not quite in the Trent Williams
Pro Bowler.
category.
That's a Pro Bowler.
Okay,
Second year.
I'm not saying he's not good.
Super Bowl.
I'm not saying he's not
I
Pro Bowl Paul.
exclusively watch Paul on Dolphins plays now because I'm so dialed in. It was really great analysis from Chris Cody, and now I watch him more than I watch Fred Warner isolated. I'm just like, man, this Paul guy, he's a player.
It's great.
You build around him.
It's great to have an offensive
Saw that
lineman
first.
whose name rhymes with Maul. Yes, and you can just call
Still
him
don't know
Paul.
first or last name.
Me neither, but he's good.
You'll agree though that it's funny that we spent so much time talking about A.J. Brown that Al Michaels, who's fed up, goes on Amazon Prime and during the game on Friday. By the way, the rest of you at Le Batard Show, did you forget there was an NFL game on Friday? Because I did.
We can get to this tomorrow. PFPI forgot about that game. A bunch of people didn't make picks. Controversy.
Oh, no.
We can get to that tomorrow.
They were not happy at the sports bar in Pittsburgh when I asked for Georgia Tech on the sound, please.
Did you look for Inter Miami as well while you were in?
Had zero luck getting Apple TV at the sports bar, but also I was living and dying with every Michael Van Buren Jr. pass, so I understood.
So we had Damashek down here being like, "Where's the Pirates game?" And now Mike's up in Pittsburgh being like, "Where's the Inter Miami game?" Funny.
Different accent.
Different places. Yeah.
Mike adopted the accent just for being in
Just
Pittsburgh?
for comedic purposes.
Hey, Yin's got Messi.
You just couldn't find a championship level, a game to get to the MLS Cup.
We were all at dinner, like, again, desperate for LSU's offense to do anything. It was somebody had it on their phone and we were following the game. The game was pretty well in hand, like 10 minutes into it with Inter Miami.
Al Michaels is so fed up with just the general nature of sports media that he spit like with acid on the Friday broadcast that A.J. Brown is surrounded by a cacophony of crap. A cacophony of crap. Like
That's great.
Meaningless talk. But we talk so much about Saquon and A.J. Brown. Like, why are we ignoring that they lose every time they lose their right tackle? Like their record, they lose 2/3 of their games when he's out.
But I guess over the last few weeks, they've been strange. Like, their form has just been kind of all over the place, even when Lane Johnson's out there. But I hear you. If you keep on with this herky-jerky form and you don't have Lane Johnson probably deserves, like, more credit than the other Lane in sports right now for someone pointing to it and being like, this guy's really great.
The reason I bring all of it up, okay, is because, look, you can have all the surprises you want in the NFL. You thought Detroit would be better this year. You're surprised the Bengals are still in it at 4-8. Everywhere you look, you can find an assortment of this is the wildest sort of football season of I'm not totally sure who's not flawed out there, where you can see just about everyone being beaten. But for Dallas to be in the position to chase down Philadelphia, because what we saw, I know a lot of people are shocked by Rams-Carolina result, but football sometimes happen. The Rams had a nice run. The thing that I saw over the course of the last week that was the most surprising thing to me is the Bears O-line gutting on the road Philadelphia. Gutting Philadelphia, a champion Philadelphia team that has championship defense. I didn't see a bigger surprise than that this weekend, and I'm understanding what I'm saying, that Carolina was a 10-point underdog at home.
Hey, at what point do we give Jerry Jones credit?
Right now.
Because I understand, and Micah Parsons has been fantastic for Green Bay, but the George Pickens trade was unbelievable. He added Clowney, who's made a difference, and they look different with Quinnen Williams. Jerry Jones doing a pretty good job with the personnel.
They could totally win the division.
They fixed their defense is what they did. That was through the first half.
While trading Micah is wild.
Yes, for the first half of the season, they were terrible at defense. Go look at those look at the numbers. Their defense was on a pace to be truly terrible.
Same with the Dolphins, all-time bad.
And Dallas now isn't quite good enough, though, because in the NFC, this is all crazy to say, right? The Bears atop the NFC, the Bears mauling Philadelphia to get to the top of the NFC, the Bears having a better record than the Rams when you were all questioning the Bears and they're 8-3 going into that game. For the Bears to be at the top of the NFC and for the 49ers to be at the bottom at 9-4, that's an insanity. Like what's happening over there in
You're talking playoffs. Bottom.
Yeah, I'm talking about the bottom of the playoffs. I'm talking about that 9-4 barely gets you in and knocks out Dallas in its current form and the Lions in the current form because the conference is too good. Like the conference is too good because no one should understand how the 49ers are 9-4.
Well, Cowboys at Lions, like we said on Thursday, and then after the results of that, Zaz, I mean, the Cowboys have Minnesota at home after that.
W.
They'll get the Chargers at home after that, at the Commanders,
W,
and then they finish the year at the New York Football Giants.
That's a 10-win
That's four
team.
W's. That's
10,
4 W's.
5-1, and
you see them
probably-
beating. So you see them beating Detroit on Thursday, in Detroit.
Oh, you didn't give me Detroit.
Detroit was where we started.
No, L there. L.
Okay, but anyways, big game or not a big game? So big game.
Cowboys and Lions.
Cowboys, Lions.
I just told you. I think the Cowboys are going to win the NFC East. The Lions are fighting for their playoff lives. Dak Prescott, Jared Goff. That's a big game.
Big game.
That's a big game. Knock on front. That's a big game.
For the bottom of the conference playoffs, while 4-8 Bengals are still in it. You know what? We need to check in with the committee of things that are done to just because our show wants them.
ACC, letting them in?
No, just let's pick the best teams from the NFC and let's let the AFC sit it out this year. Let's just take them.
So no Joe Burrow.
Maybe Joe Burrow. We'll let him in play in a few of the
Mahomes,
games.
we let in.
Mahomes, Josh Allen. But no Drake May or Bo Nix.
Just change.
I mean, it's already crumbling. We invoke 3 names.
Let's do an NFL committee.
It took the first 3 names.
Let's
2
all
of
take
them presently out for Dan to be like, okay, probably bad idea. But maybe 4 AFC teams.
I think the Dallas Cowboys are someone everyone would enjoy seeing in the playoffs now in this form.
Why don't we just leave our hats at the door and make a 12-team playoff? Best 12 teams. I'll leave my hat at the door. Will you?
Is it best or most deserving?
Do we count head-to-head?
While we're cleaning stuff up, if you wanted to see what I would look like in that Speedo.
Well,
I don't.
Didn't you want to do a beauty pageant? Didn't you want to do a beauty pageant where all the college football teams were allowed to stand in front of everybody
you guys
and
mocked
make
me.
their arguments?
You mocked me for saying the ACC commissioner should just come out and say it's Virginia, Miami. That's who's playing.
Man, I'm packing some heat.
I think when there's a tie, how many 2-loss teams in the ACC are there? 4?
And you're talking about your dick.
I'm not sure that's heat packing.
There's 4 2-loss teams. All right, they're in the final.
Let's see you, stud.
All the other ACC teams
That's heat, baby.
vote like a beauty pageant which 2 should deserve to go. No one's listening to me. It's fine.
Sorry, we were all looking at Daniel Craig's dick.
Yeah.
That is what was happening. And then imagining me in that, and then Mike Ryan threw it to
Why
me
did I
and
get the
say,
smallest
"Let's do
package?
Yeah, mine looks bigger than Chris's.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Can we zoom it? No, I'm kidding.
That's what we're doing?
It's the shadow. Yeah, you're right. That is the shadow. Just pick Miami. What?
What is it? Joe Biden now doing? Hey, oh, come on. Against it.
Come on.
You
all would agree.
You may have noticed we're going to get to against the spread here in a moment. 5, 4, 3, 2,
and
1.
take.
Against the spread.
Here it comes.
Against the spread. Against the spread. Against the spread. Against the spread. Hey, give me that spread. Against the spread.
Against the Spread is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings. Give me that spread. The crown is yours.
I want that spread.
Or that spread.
All right, the Jets are going into Buffalo against the Sabres as a 1.5 underdog.
Hey, come on, man.
The reason why is because Connor Hellebuck is still out. He's on IR with a knee injury. He had surgery a couple weeks ago, out 4 to 6 weeks. They have lost 4 of the last 5. So going to go with the Jets today at Buffalo.
Come on.
Against the spread.
Hey, give me that spread.
Hey, give me that spread. I'm going to go with an adjusted against the spread. I'm going to take the Ducks favored by -1.5. Right now, they're a dog in that game against the Blues. Sometimes goals hard to come by for the Blues. I believe the Ducks will be better, so why not take the extra juicy attempt here with the Anaheim Ducks, who are going to make the playoffs, by the way. Going to make the playoffs. Let's take them against those Spurs.
They are looking good, aren't they, Roy? They're offensively no longer challenged. I saw over the course of the weekend, I saw that Chris Myers and Schlereth got stuck, of course, with the Saints game and the Saints versus the Dolphins. And Schlereth said of Tua, he said he has a challenge from a height standpoint, which is the most words you can use to say someone is short. That Tua has a challenge from a height standpoint. Did you feel bad at listening to Chris Myers have to do Dolphins Saints, thinking that his career should be beyond this?
It was funny to me to watch all my Dolphin friends get angry at Schlereth for how much he was praising Julian Hill. Like the Dolphins, third tight end. He's a good blocker for them.
He loved how much he was
He's
blocking.
a big part of their run. So, and he's a guy that gets trolled a lot in the Dolphins chat.
Because he sucks.
Every other play, he's just like, I'll tell you, this Julian Hill, you don't have to put the ball in his hands. He does things.
Wait, who sucks? Schlereth?
Julian Hill. No, Schlereth's my dog. Julian Hill sucks.
Okay.
But Schlereth, I swear, he mentioned him 7 times.
No, I remember. He was raving about him blocking.
When you consider how much has changed in professional football, I will just remind you that it was a year ago at about this time that Eberflus on national television with the Bears was making that screw up at the end of the Thanksgiving game that made us all know it was his last job in professional football and that Caleb Williams was on the cusp of being ruined. A year later, they're 9-3 and at the top the NFC. Because Ben Johnson is their quarterback. Juju is ready to go.
Coach.
I can hear his breathing behind us. Juju is ready to go. Juju, what do we have today? Why is there a video right now on my screen?
It's a photo.
A photo of a shirtless bear. Is that?
Good, better, bet. Never let it rest.
Okay. So I had not seen this. Hold on a second. Where's the audio on this? I have not seen this.
Oh no, we got to get that. We just have this. I wanted to show you shirtless Ben Johnson.
This Ben Johnson though, good coach, huh?
Abs.
Yeah, salute to Ben Johnson, by the way. He took his shirt off because in Chicago, the restaurant, the Wiener Circle, promised that if Ben Johnson takes off his shirt after a Bears win, free hot dogs for the whole city. Whoa. So my boy Ben Johnson just took one for the city right then. You feel me? Stand up, Ben Johnson. I see you, sir.
How cold? So this is not because it's cold Chicago. He just wanted to take his shirt off because we wanted to see his abs?
No, he took his shirt off so the whole city could get free hot dog, free glizzies for the city, man. Come on.
You know about them glizzies?
No, but I understand I understand what you were saying, Juju. I just didn't understand the nature of the bet. Why did they want him shirtless? Because it's cold?
Yeah, I guess they just big Ben Johnson fans, you know what I mean? They wanted to see my boy would take off his top. You did?
Yeah, if you're a fan of someone, you want them to take off their top. Everybody knows that.
Okay, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If you're a fan of someone, does everyone want them to take off their top? Do you have top 5 plays of the weekend, and are either Puka or Bowers going to make the list? Let's see Let's see what we've got here from Juju. OLI, or are we going straight to the top 5 plays from the weekend?
Yeah, I got an OLI, and these plays, without these plays happening, their team would have lost the game. So, yes, OLI, the Jaguars punter threatening to murder.
You think they would have lost to the Titans if not for the Jags punter threatening to murder Shelby?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He had that look in his eyes. And you know how they say on Little Giants, you got to look crazy, look the part, chew on some aspirin or something and slob out of your mouth. He did the job for them boys the other day.
Winning's an attitude, Dan.
Yes,
if you got
sir.
an attitude that you're going to kill someone, you're already one step up.
Yes, sir. Number 5, Christian Benford, scoop and score versus the Steelers.
Who are you, Zaz? I don't recognize.
Who
is this person?
Not me.
But yeah, that's the problem also too. But mentioning the Bills have to get help from their defense to win these games, and they have to get the Josh Allen who finds the person in the back of the end zone with the push pass versus just a sporadic. So the Bills going to have this problem week to week. I wouldn't pencil the Bengals in as a win or a loss for the Bengals just yet, Zaz. I think the Bills are going to struggle against them as they have done because they might get T. Higgins back as well.
All right.
How do you feel, Juju, about the idea that your Bills yesterday, do you agree with my assessment that Aaron Rodgers looks like he's in a Survivor movie where he's being hunted by other humans?
Or in Home Alone.
Right, hell yeah. And that was on that exact play, too. He got banged up on that scoop and score, which was like, man, get my boy off the field, man. Then Mason Rudolph came in with that mustache and threw a pick instantly. I'm like, oh, man.
Oh,
yeah, come on
Steelers
back.
have to be so done with the Mason Rudolph experience. Like, how tired are they of him coming into games? Number 3.
Number 4, Nick Bonito tip deflection last night for the 2-point conversion.
Huge play.
Huge play because, brother, McNichols was wide open in the flat, and that was going to be a game-sealing catch. So, yeah, great play.
That sport is so bullshit. That game, of course, is going to come down to the end. Of course. What sense does that make? Number 3.
Number 3, Bryce Young to Jalen Coker on 4th down and 3. Touchdown, baby, down the field. Man.
That's when I thought the Panthers season was over.
Right, bro. Either the Panthers are going to get embarrassed every week or they are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know what's going on with them. Who are they? I don't know. Number 2, the referees called a field goal good when it was a missed field goal in the Texans versus the Chiefs.
I saw that.
Texans versus Colts.
I wasn't sure if it was just like an angle thing. Like I thought
it has to be. They're underneath. I understand that's got to be an optical illusion for that not to be a huge controversy. It's the second time I've seen it happen this season where it looks on television like the field goal has been missed, but both officials who are under the goalpost and have the best angle can tell you when it crosses or doesn't.
Because it wasn't one of those ones that was like higher than the pole, right? So like that's why it had to be obvious.
Wouldn't it be easier for the referees to tell if instead of being under the field goal post, they're sitting on top of the field goal post?
I love this.
Right?
Love it.
I like that.
Wouldn't that be easier?
Like a conveyor that
Elf
takes
on a
them
shelf.
up, an
No,
elevator.
just sitting on top.
Yeah, they're sitting on top of each post.
Yeah, like a jetpack.
Like a gargoyle.
Yeah. I like that.
Just swinging
I
their
saw
legs.
2. I got to take 2, by the way, within the list. Referees, liars. I'm going to just put that out there, bro.
What?
Most referees are liars.
What?
Ain't no way in hell. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Ain't no way in hell, bro. You going to tell me you were standing by the touchdown and you saw that this punt went out of bounds on the 43.5-yard line? Sir, you, sir, are a liar, and I'm going to call you out. Done.
Well, consider it
Consider
done.
yourself called
You've
out.
been called down, bro. Number 2.
Number 1, you feel me? Kevontae Turpin, fumble recovery on George Pickens' fumble.
Huge.
Bruh, Cowboys. Thank you, Chris. The Cowboys would have lost that game if Patrick Mahomes got that ball back. So play if you want to. Yeah, it was looking good, but, man, great recovery from Kevontae Turpin.
That's the difference between us saying that now Jerry Jones is a good general manager and us not saying that. Can you play the sound of Ben Johnson in the locker room taking his shirt off so that everyone can have wieners?
No idea what that speech means, but I love it.
I love that guy.
I can't imagine how excited Chicago is about this.
Your better
football
get
team.
best, and your good gets better.
Never
let it rest.
That's a made guy right there.
You're supposed to chant. When I say it, guys, you're supposed to like repeat what we'll work
I don't know what you're saying.
Zaz,
No, that's fine. We'll work.
Zaz, you a
Do
made
it
guy.
again. We'll follow.
Zaz, you sir are a made guy in my book.
Thanks, player.
I think we should change the name right here to Nostradamus or Nostradamus, whatever the
Yes,
name is.
let's figure out how to do that.
That didn't sound like
Right.
a compliment. Nostradamus?
My lingo, I gotta get it. It's on me. Players mess up, but yeah, bro, you came in. You said I got Nico getting fired.
Yeah.
You didn't say I think he's getting fired. He may.
No,
get
he said
fired.
he had it. He said
That
he had
day.
the story.
Yeah.
He
That
had the
day.
story
Right.
2 hours before the story broke. Did you have any Lane Kiffin thoughts? We spent a lot of time there, Dick. We can't get enough of that story.
Bruh, yeah, I agree with Nostradamus, but again, because, bruh, Lane Kiffin, bruh, what's wrong with America? We used to be a great country, no pun intended at all, but we sitting here caring about where Lane Kiffin go. Bruh, when did Lane Kiffin start mattering? Put Lane Kiffin national championships in the box. Put his college football appearances, playoff appearances in the box. Shake them up. I don't hear a damn thing, man.
And he's left 5 of the last 6 places in just total chaotic noise.
Yeah, even when he left Alabama as a coordinator, Saban was like, I'm not letting you coach this conference title game. Burning mattresses, fired on a tarmac. The only time that people were like,
Say it,
hey,
Mike.
We know that you're good was Boca.
FAU.
We get your vibe. We know
Thank you
what
for
we
your
married.
service, sir.
Is Lane Kiffin the Jimmy Butler of college football?
Wow.
Where like the highs are so high, right? But ultimately the way that it ends is always in flames. In his case, like literally sometimes. And there actually aren't any championships yet to show for it.
Well, not just no championships, nothing close to a championship, not a finals appearance, not anything really other than having very low expectations and exceeding very low expectations.
Although as a coordinator, he racks them up.
I mean, he's a good play caller. Nobody disputes it. I just can't
USC
believe the
and
value.
Alabama.
I can't believe the value of just play calling now, but maybe I'm wrong. Ben Johnson seems to be a very good play caller as well. And like I said, we're a year removed from Eberflus.
He has to live here.
Now, Sky Moore, I maintain had the coolest name in football because he spells it with 2 Y's, and that is why
Big Y guy?
It's 2 Y's. I have not seen a Sky with 2 Y's. Juju, are you here to correct me?
Yes, sir, I am here to correct you, brother. Sky Moore is a cool name, but I thought of some brothers in the NFL with even cooler names than my boy Sky Moore. So I made a top 5 list, but I got OLIs, daddy. I got OLIs.
You got a lot of names better than Sky Moore with 2 Y's. All right.
Yes, sir, if you squint. And also that I can think of, audience.
Important note.
OLI number 1, come on, man. Puka Nakua.
It's a good name.
Hell yeah, man. OLI number 2, Chidobe Awuzie. It flows off the tongue.
Dan like Sky Moore.
It's 2 Y's.
Right. Also OLI, Sauce Gardner. Come on, man. If you ain't got no sauce, then you lost,
Got hurt
man. Come on. Right. Colts. Time of death. Next week. OLI Jackson Dart.
It's got an X in it.
Come on, man. We just got used to it. It's very cool, man.
I thought you were going to go the other Jackson.
That's a cool name too, but it's 6'7".
Scary
Number
name.
5. Number 5, Rashid Shaheed. Come on, man, that's a powerful name, especially in the community. Rashid Shaheed. Come on, that's definitely a great name. Number 4, Diamador Lenore.
Because it rhymes.
But he's got 2
Right.
Y's. There are 2 Y's in his name.
Number 3, Equanimous St. Brown. My brothers and sisters. I love it. Number 2, Kool-Aid McKinstry, man.
Are Kool-Aid and Sauce the real names, or are they nicknames? Are they real names?
Come on, man. His mama called him Kool-Aid. I'ma call the boy Kool-Aid.
I'm not sure his mama called him Kool-Aid.
And number one, the coolest name in the NFL right now, Divine Diablo.
Makes me mad.
Come on.
I thought you were going to Roy's top 10 it at the end.
No, he's got better names than I did, and I'm embarrassed that I had
Jeff Smith.
2 Y's. So high. It's 2 Y's, though. Imagine if Jeff spelled it with 3 F's. Imagine if there were 4.
Why do you like it so much?
Or because it's 2 Y's.
Keep an eye out for what James Franklin's doing at Virginia Tech, flipping all these Penn State guys, and he just secured the big commitment of Roseby Purgatory Labintus.
It's a great name. How do you spell his name? How big is he?
He's massive. He's 6'6", 340 pounds with the nickname Purgatory.
Because that's where people get stuck?
That's right.
Between heaven and hell?
Head to head.
Do we have some? What is his first name?
Roseby.
Roseby. And how do we spell his last name?
Labintus.
No.
Purgatory. I don't think you can use nicknames. Are Sauce and Kool-Aid their real names? They're not their real
Kool-Aid
names.
is
it's not their real name.
But his first name is JaQuincy.
Right, JaQuincy with a G,
McKinstry.
too. With a G, JaQuincy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
Very cool.
Let's go ahead and update the polls at Le Batard Show.
During the debate, I just put this up on the poll just to see how the crowd felt. Did Lane Kiffin do the right thing? 52% of the audience says no, he did not. No.
So wait a minute, you did your own poll?
I'm curious.
Right.
I like
Pulse
this.
of- Pulse of a sports fan.
Okay.
Yeah. I got my finger on the pulse of South Florida sports, Dano. Next poll. Does Aaron Rodgers look like someone in a Survivor movie towards the end of it where he's being hunted by other humans in the jungle? 96% of the audience says yes, he does. No.
He had blood on his face yesterday, and he's out there playing with no use for his left hand. Like he's at the Ravages at the end of this jungle warfare. Other humans, Rutger Hauer is going to chase him down.
Who does Brock Bowers look more like? The greatest tight end ever or a 50-year-old plumber? No. 94% of the audience says a 50-year-old plumber.
You guys have to get me just a shot of Brock Bowers so that we could give that to the audio.
Why we got to do a man like that?
To the video audience. Just look at his face and you tell me if he looks like the young greatest Gronk you've ever seen. Because his hair is killing him. He's got to go bald here.
No.
Right. Does Brock Bowers look older than Terry Bradshaw? 72% of the audience says yes, he does.
Good chin.
Man, his hair
I
kind of
get some of the worst
look at the
pictures.
positives.
No,
Let's
he
bring
does
out
have
the
but he
positives
does
then.
have a good chin in that one. Get me the photo that doesn't have the good chin because
So what do we do?
there are plenty of those.
No.
And last poll, bigger game, Clue or Monopoly? Come on, man. Big game. 84% of the audience says Monopoly, and those are your polls.
Jeremy, you should be embarrassed by that. Also, add this for tomorrow because I failed to do this justice on Friday. In a fight, do you need to beware of the guy with the extra hairy shoulders? Because I think we all know this, and Andre Drummond being 7 feet tall and squaring up like a bare-knuckle fighter, that's bad enough. But once he's got the extra hairy shoulders...
He had the hairy shoulders?
Yes, I think that makes it all the worst. And I think I could say as a universal life principle, in a fight, you have to beware of the guy with extra hairy shoulders. Let's pick it up tomorrow there. Thank you, Juju. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Chin still looks good.
No.